Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to the United Stand. It's a massive game in the Champions League as Manchester United take on Copenhagen in Denmark, of course, and it is a big game. And Erik ten Hag has made some, what I would say, big decisions. Some people are baffled by it, some people are not happy with it, some people are very content with it. Lots to discuss about it. Obviously it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, but we've got time, so give us your thoughts on what your thoughts are on that Manchester United side. I should be able to put it straight onto the screen for you there. Yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, it's, you know where I stand with Erik ten Hag. I back Erik ten Hag and I want him to do well. And but even look, this is where it's all about being consistent, isn't it? And this is where you park agenda at the door, like a car. I think that he is a puzzler. I literally said this morning on the morning show, didn't I? I said, you cannot predict a Ten Hag side because he's capable of doing anything, and it's not always logical from a fan's point of view. I think that's the nicest way of saying it. And what I mean by that is, we're sponsored by Boohoo Man, by the way, 40% off with the code Goldbridge. I'll give you your little trivia in a minute, but big shout out to Boohoo Man. But what I would say is that Nick says it's a bad lineup, totally crap lineup, says Cavandi. Look, the thing I don't like is that, and let me just get this back, because Boohoo Man are sponsoring us, but we're not going to do that just yet. We're going to take this, and we're going to pause this, because this is the United lineup. So, basically, it's the team from the weekend, with Rashford coming back in. Now, I've seen a lot of people online saying this is bollocks. You know, Rashford basically runs Man United. He comes back into the team, but nobody else does. There's no Amrabat, there's no Mount, there's no Reguilon, there's no Varane, there's no Pellistri. So he picks a team that won on Saturday, apart from Rashford comes in. So Rashford comes in as he's a better player than people who played on the weekend, but no Varane, no Reguilon, no Amrabat, no Mount, no Pellistri. So people are saying, well, it just shows you the power that Rashford's got at United, that he can come into a winning team and take someone's place, but nobody else can come in. I think that's unfair. I think it's unfair because we already know Erik ten Hag's number 2 players at Manchester United are Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. And when they're fit, he's always picked them. Last season, this season. I don't think it's because Rashford's told Ten Hag to pick him. That's complete bollocks. It's because Ten Hag wants to pick Rashford because Rashford's his superstar. That's what it's all about. So I think that there is no issue with Rashford coming into the team at all. And I think it's good he's in the team. And I quite like that front three of Garnacho, Haaland and Rashford. I like it. So I've got no problem with that. The rest of the team is basically picking the winning team because I'm surprised Reguilon's not playing at left back because he's a natural left back and Delo isn't. I'm surprised that Evans is playing over Varane. Now, quite rightly, I think it was Ethan on Twitter said to me, or replied to a tweet of mine and saying, well, Rafael Varane's not a left-sided centre-back and Maguire's the right-sided centre-back. But Maguire's spent 90% of his Man United career playing as a left-sided centre-back and plays as a left-sided centre-back for England. That's not the reason Varane's not playing. Varane's not playing because he wants to pick Johnny Evans. At some point, that's going to cost us. That will cost us at some point. Like, I hate to say it, but it will. Picking Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire at Anfield will cost you. You've got to pick your best players. So at some point, that will cost us. I saw Phil Brown on Twitter say that the Mount deal is baffling. I mean, this is a player that Ten Hag was obsessed with. He spent £55 million on him and he just never picks him. So, look, I get the criticism of the team. But on the other hand, he's brought his star player back in and picked the same team that beat Fulham and fought for him on the weekend. And when you think of it like that, it's not that deep. He's picked the same 11 that fought for him on Saturday and rewarded them. And he's brought his star player back in. That's all he's done. And it was an easy out because Anthony played badly. So he's basically picked the team that fought for him on Saturday with Marcus Rashford in it. The biggest injustice, by the way, is not Mason Mount. It's not Rafael Varane. It's not Marcus Rashford. It's not Reguilon. It's not Amrabat. The biggest injustice, and the one that I would get on board with, and it's the only one that bothers me, is why is Pellistri not starting? He basically won us the fucking game at the weekend. His effort for that cameo that he made, and it led to the goal as well. I'm very surprised that Ten Hag has not rewarded a player that basically got him a win. And I know it was Bruno's finish, but it was Pellistri's impetus and hard work on the goal and for the 20 minutes before that. he's been picking McTominay because of 2 late goals against Brentford. I feel for Pellistri. I really do. I think he more than did enough to start. And I think he's very, very, very unlucky, because if we're picking players who fought for the shirt and put in a good performance, then I think Pellistri should have started. But on the other hand, Marcus Rashford is his star player. He's a big earner. He needs him to score. And, I'm not surprised. Mark, can you spill the beans on what Seb's second favourite team is? It's obviously not Inter Miami, so zero connection. No, much more local than that. Hi, Mark. Should be more pressure added to Howard Webb for the consistent errors, says Same. Yep, not the right show for it, but yeah, I do agree with that. Tina G doesn't come for free. She's a real lady. She says Pellistri should have started, definitely. Tina, I'm not saying that you're a prostitute. It's a line from... actually, you wouldn't come for free if you're a prostitute anyway. You'd be paid for it, wouldn't it? But I'm digging a hole here. What I'm saying is that I was using a line from the Spice Girls, which I think is Easy V doesn't come for free. She's a real lady. And as for me, you'll see, sand your body down and wind it all around. I never got that line, sand your body down. Sounds like, maybe it's slam your body down and wind it all around. Sounds sexual. Anyway, I'm still digging a hole. Let's move on. I remember Gina G. Ooh, just Tina's enjoying it. Tina G says, I remember Gina G. Yeah, just a little bit. A little bit more. Probably sexual again. Let's move on. Right. Okay. Yeah, I need a shovel. I should be sponsored by who does shovels? I'd be brilliant. Goldbridge's shovel. Just bring it out when I start digging. Anyway, look back to the show. Rashford, never a superstar. Board demands he plays. Says Scotty, I don't think that. I think Ten Hag likes him. I don't think that's the case. But give us your thoughts on the team. Sean Turner, with a super chat, has said, I'm with the manager, but the more I see his lineups and he's sticking up for certain players, I'm starting to see why Sancho hasn't apologised. Slow turning into Ollie with favourites, says Sean. Look, I've got no problem with that. I'm Ten Hag in. I back the manager, but I know it's going to swing. The pendulum is going to swing here. Ten Hag outers are probably still Ten Hag out. Ten Hag inners like me are Ten Hag in. But, he's in trouble for a reason. And I'm not saying that we're not skating on thin ice. At the moment, as Ten Hag inners, we're skating on thin ice, and below us, there's a big bloody shark or a killer whale. And we're going like that. But the ice could give way at any point. I'm not saying it can't. Mario Franco says, I think not risking Varane because he wouldn't play a high line anyway with any of the other centre-backs, same as for Mount, it would be useless, as Mario Franco. Look, looking at that United side, can I just say, I think we win tonight, but I tell you what, if it was Copenhagen or a Liverpool fan or anybody that wants United or a Ten Hag outer, I'm not saying you haven't got hope. I looked at that team and I was led to believe Amrabat was starting tonight. He's not. I look at that team and I go, look, Maguire and Evans, they're not bloody Ramos and Varane, are they? Eriksen and McTominay, we're not talking about Rodri and Gundogan, are we? So, there is a potential weakness in that team. But, I think we'll get the job done. I think we have to get the job done tonight. I really hope Rashford scores, says the Morris brothers. I would love it. And I'm claiming an assist if Rashford scores. Inadvertently, because I like Rashford. But, I think if he's missed the motivate. Imagine if Rashford scores tonight, having not scored for weeks and weeks and weeks. He interacts with the United stand, scores a goal. We've got to claim an assist as a community. Even though we didn't do anything wrong, if we've motivated Rashford, I'm claiming FPL points for this community. Definitely. I'm worried we might get overrun in the midfield, says Mumba. And Rasmus to score a hat-trick tonight. Get ready for Eriksen as the CDM as a stand-in De Jong, says JKD. Well, we know Copenhagen from the previous game, and we know what Copenhagen can do, don't we? They knock the ball about a lot. Agri says Rashford's got a low footy IQ, Lingardi, Dele Alli-like, says Agri. Okay. Anyway, look, as I said, we are sponsored by Boohoo Man tonight. You'll know who Boohoo Man are. Fantastic supporter of the channel. Do loads and loads of clothing items. It is getting cold. Those winter nights are coming. Get yourself some tracksuits, hoodies, coats, gym wear, casual wear. They've got it all covered, and you can get 40% off what are already fantastic prices at Boohoo Man. Christmas is coming as well. Get the kids a load of stuff, or get your man or your woman a load of... I don't like that statement, your woman or your man. Every woman, every man, go to Boohoo Man. Stand up, 40% off with Goldbridge as your code. It's Goldbridge as your code. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. 40% off with the code Goldbridge. What a discount. Get your Boohoo Man clothing. As always, fantastic products. But as you know, with Boohoo Man, there is always a bit of trivia, United-related trivia. And today is no different. So who am I here? I don't know who this is. I'm guessing along with you. I was born on the 1st of June, 1988. My career started in Guadalajara, Mexico. Manchester United signed me in October, 2009 for approximately 7 million. During my time at United, I played 157 games and scored 59 goals. I won the Premier League twice while at United, and in Spanish, I have a nickname that means Little P. I think we know who it is. I would be stunned if the chat doesn't know who it is. You should all know it by now. It's not Bloody Nanny. Junior, I'm giving it to you, although loads of people got it like Smokey and the Nobody and LaQuinn James. It is, of course, Javier Hernandez, or Chicharito, as we used to call him. Congratulations. Big thank you to Boohoo Man. We love the interactivity with our community. Don't forget, you can get 40% off when you use that code Goldbridge. Remember it, boohooman.com. Links in the video description, or scan that QR code with your camera as it goes round. 40% off with the code Goldbridge. Big shout out to Boohoo Man. We've had a few more comments coming in. I'm going to go through them now. Welcome to the Members Club Hack. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for that. Where are we tonight, says Just Kevin. We're in Denmark, aren't we? We're in Copenhagen, aren't we? I don't think that's going to be a problem. If we're in London, it's a problem, although we won in London at the weekend. What's going on here? Champions League night, says Savage. Yeah, enjoy it. I don't think we'll be in it next year, to be honest. If Rashford scores, we commission a commemorative T-shirt with your face on it, pointing at your head, doing his celebration, says Nick P. Sorry, Mark, off topic, but is the live show going to be available for the members? Would love to have been there, but can't, says Shake. Yeah, we will load it up to the members. Definitely do that. Hi, Mark. To your point of too much playtime for players, can FPL be adjusted to allow such teams to have bigger squads and rotate more, says Anthony. Yeah, but you can rotate players, but it's the quality of players, isn't it? That's the problem. That's the problem I have, the quality of players that you've got. There's not an infinite amount of top quality players out there. So, yeah. Big night for United. Goldbridge more assists than Anthony if Rashford scores, says Chris. And Mark, you're pronouncing Chicharito wrong, says Jakey. Okay, I've always pronounced it like that, so sorry. What about Varane, says Owen. There is no Rafael Varane in Manchester United's side tonight. It's a puzzler. Look, I like Johnny Evans, but I'm never going to not say this, so I don't care what anybody says. This is my opinion. I never, ever, 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 ever thought I would live in a world where Rafael Varane is being benched for Manchester derbies and Champions League nights for Johnny Evans, who got relegated with Leicester last year. I find it incredible. To me, this is the equivalent of starting Marcus Albrighton over Salah. It just doesn't make sense. Like, Rafael Varane was our best centre-back last year, and to me is still world class. And we're starting Johnny Evans over him. So, look, this is why I like Ten Hag. He gets paid the money. I don't get paid the money. You don't get paid the money. He gets paid the money. He makes the big calls. What I would tell you, though, and I'll tell it you for free, we're not doing anything with Maguire and Evans at centre-back. Like, at some point, it will go wrong. I don't like that style of management where you stick to your guns until it goes wrong, because we can't really afford anything to go wrong in the league or in the Champions League now. We've already lost enough games, so it worries me a little bit. I get it. He's sticking with a winning team. They got a clean sheet at the weekend. Many people, if he'd started Varane, would have said, why has he changed a winning team? So you can't be a hypocrite. But it will go wrong at some point. It will go wrong at some point because Varane is better than Maguire and Evans. But on the other hand, we're probably going to play counter-attacking football, aren't we? So he probably wants to play a deep line. I can't be arsed with the Europa League this season. I'd rather finish last in the group, says KFJ. I think we get out the group. I think that the win tonight will do us the world of good in relation to how that group looks. At the moment, it still does look a little bit dodgy. I think we've all got to accept that. But we win tonight, we go above Galatasaray, we go above Copenhagen, we'd have 6 points. Obviously, that's assuming that Bayern Munich beat Galatasaray, which I think they will. So if we win tonight and Bayern Munich win tonight, Bayern Munich are on 12, we're on 6, Galatasaray on 4, Copenhagen on 1. We would be 2 points clear of Galatasaray, which means that realistically, a draw might be enough in Turkey, but we wouldn't be able to lose. But we'd be above them. The pressure would be on them to win, which can be a different game. And then you've got Bayern Munich at Old Trafford. I mean, we could be in a position where that Bayern Munich game doesn't mean anything. If we win tonight and we win in Turkey, that Bayern Munich game doesn't mean a thing. Us and Bayern Munich are through. So really, you can twist and turn, you can scream and shout. But if we win tonight and we win in Turkey, then we will qualify from the group. I think we will qualify from the group. I'm Mr. Positive. Can't be arsed with the Europa. We've done that one for KFJ. Thank you for all your super chats, by the way, and thank you to the members. I'm going to read some of the members' chats out in a moment. We don't do an exclusive members chat. I've seen people do that. I don't agree with that. You can literally have your live chat where it's only members. I don't think that's right to do that, but we will have a members readout in a minute. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Hi, Mark. Stay strong with people trying to bring down the United Stand community. We're with you, says Rushi. I think we stay strong together. As I said last night, this community is yours as much as it's mine. And I know for a fact that if the United Stand had never been born, then there wouldn't be as many people who are into the club and engaged with the club and talking about the club. There is nothing, and there has never been anything like this. No forum, no fanzine has ever had what we have, which is an live and interactive, thousands and thousands of people talking and interacting. It makes you closer to the club. In every single way, it's good for the club. Every single way. They'll pretend it's not, but it is. And I think we all know it is. It brings us closer. You're a good lad, Goldbridge. Been listening since 2009. You're so deserving of your sex. I don't know about that tonight. I don't know. Success. Thank you, Hack. And Renate's a legend as one of our mods. She's just gifted 5 memberships as well. Big shout out to the mods. Gemma has just joined the members club as well. Let's have a look at what some of our members have got to say. Sammy the Smooth's just been gifted a membership by Renate. Kevin Shields says the community was a godsend during lockdown. It was a godsend for all of us. People forget that. They start moaning about so-called toxicity, and they don't remember that during lockdown we probably kept each other sane. What were we even bloody talking about every night? But it helped me as much as anything. Daniel Fox is a member. He says maybe he didn't pick Varane because he's too injury prone, says Daniel. Brian Governor says Renate is a legend. And the boss off blue says, love you, Mark. Bruno hat-trick tonight. And massive performance from Garnacho tonight, says Ocean Malarkey, who is a member as well. And Oliver Sharp's a member. He says, love your videos, Mark. What a guy. I think I love Rashford, but Garnacho has to play. He's world class. What do you think of his haircut? Wish he would come to Watford. We haven't spoken about Garnacho, and I think that's one of the big positives from that team tonight. We've been saying this, that Garnacho's cameos over the last 6 months are deserving of a start. And I'll tell you for free that if Garnacho was playing in the Sir Alex Ferguson era, he would be starting games, because Sir Alex did this with the likes of Giggs and Lee Sharp. He would give them game time. So he started the last 3 games in a row for Manchester United, and I think that's really important, and it needs to continue. Now, who's playing on the right and who's playing on the left is going to be interesting. I personally would play Rashford off the right because I think he's good off the right, and I think Garnacho is better off the left than he is off the right. And also Rashford's the senior player. Some people would say, well, Rashford's the senior player, put him in his best position and put Garnacho on the right. So it could go either way with that. Kate says you're going to have sex. It was a mispronunciation of success. Which, as I said, Adavan, thank you very much for joining the members club. Really appreciate your support. Michael's not happy that Reguilon's not starting. He's our only left back, and we bought him into play. You know what? Loads of people have spoken about Varane. But look, if I list these off, look, I don't really want to do this, but you've got to be pragmatic and you've got to be fair. There are people that will be feeling aggrieved or, at least querying the team. Aidan Oldfield, welcome to the members club. If I put it to you like this, £55 million on Mason Mount, doesn't start games for Manchester United. Why did we buy him? Amrabat, rushed to get him at the end of the transfer window, doesn't start games. Why did we buy him? Reguilon, got him on loan as a left-back to play at left-back, doesn't start him. Palestri played really, really well at the weekend and was a big part why we won, doesn't start him. Varane, the best centre-back that we've got, doesn't start him. So there's 5 players there, Mount, Amrabat, Varane, Reguilon and Palestri, where you've got legitimate reasons to say why. Why? But I would say, because you're not the manager. He's the manager, he picks the team. But look, it's amazing, isn't it? We've got so many injuries, and yet there are so many options that he could have gone with tonight. So I think he's just picking a team that won at the weekend, but he's decided to start Rashford instead of Anthony. I think it's that simple. I wouldn't deep it any more than that. I think he's picked a winning team from Saturday that won in difficult circumstances and probably kept him in a job, if we're being honest, and he wants to reward those players. Because if you flip it the other way, are you going to play Call of Duty campaign? I'll probably play it on the charity stream. That's what I normally do. I can't wait to see a lineup of Shaw, Varane, Martinez, Wan-Bissaka, Amrabat, Casemiro, Bruno, Palestri, Rashi, and then Højlund, says Igshan. Will we ever see it? Hi, Goldbridge. I watched your videos on That's Football this morning, and I think VAR should be voted for or against before the game by the fans, says David. I'd love that. I'd love that. I'm hyped for the match, says Jacob, but not for the starting 11. And I'm not going to paint the devil on the wall here, but Erik ten Hag is lost. These selection of players that are not at United standards is going to cost him, says Daniel. Look, Daniel, I don't actually have a problem with that, but imagine tonight he drops McTominay for Amrabat. He drops Eriksen for Mount. He drops Dalot for Reguilon. He drops Evans for Varane. McTominay, Eriksen, Dalot and Evans, who fought to get a result for him on Saturday, are suddenly thinking, hold on a minute, you needed me on Saturday to keep me in a job, and then you kicked me out the team for these players that weren't here. You can see what he's doing. You can see what he's doing. I have to defend it. I can see what he's doing. The problem is, I also agree, at some point, that team's going to lose him a game, and then he'll have to play those other players. It's the age-old balance. This is bigger than Ten Hag. It's bigger than Man United. It's the age-old thing. When you win a really important game with a set of players that maybe aren't your best, do you stick with them or do you bring your better players in? And he's decided to stick with them apart from Rashford. But this has been going on for years. Do you stick with a winning team or do you bring back better players? And he's sticking with a winning team. And I've seen some managers who will do that, and I've seen some managers who go, I'm just going to, at the end of the day, I need to win. I'm going to pick the best team I can. So, yeah, let's see how it works out. We're getting very close to kickoff here. You can see what he's doing, but the team didn't play good on Saturday. They shouldn't be picked, says Corral. Have you seen the transfer rumour, says Sydney? No. What did Goldstein say, says Jamer? I've heard, I don't know. I've not heard what happened. I mean, he's a wish version of me anyway with his name, but most people won't even know who we're talking about. But I'd knock him into next week, and I'm not even a fighter. I beat him at anything. One-on-one football, darts, snooker. He thinks he's good at snooker. I'd batter him at that. I'd beat him at tennis. I'd beat him at table tennis. I'd beat him at running. I'd beat him at fighting. I'd beat him at arm wrestling. I'd beat him at spelling. I'd beat him at everything. Keep-ups. I'd beat him at everything. Absolutely everything. Hope Varane and Erik ten Hag haven't fallen out. Also, keep up the good work. Never let the haters get you down, says Megan. You can't. You just got to keep working. What's that line out of Rocky? Life isn't about winning. It's about how hard you get hit and go down and then don't get up, or something like that. I found it really disappointing this morning that TalkSport reported on Ten Hag's presser and their first comment was his personality. He can't win, says Nick P. I'm confused to why some presenters like Goldstein slagged you off on TalkSport today. Why they say such haters. He told you to go back to Nottingham Forest, says Callum. I haven't heard it, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. Just messaging Beth and Ryan there. Hopefully we'll get a player after the match tonight, by the way. Keep an eye on United Stand later on, because we may well get an interview with a player. We've had Rasmus before, so hopefully we will do. Hi, Mark. Did you see Erik ten Hag interview saying he chose this 11 to try have a consistent starting 11? Could this mean Varane is no longer in his plans, says Will? Mate, if Ten Hag has decided that that's going to be his Manchester United starting 11 that he's going to pick week in, week out, he's going to get an absolute good hiding after the international break. Absolutely battered. That team, unfortunately, I think it wins tonight, but that team there, as much as we like them and as much as they deserve their chance, that team there isn't even giving Crystal Palace nightmares. Like, that team there will not get top 6. If he picks that team consistently, he will get the sack. I don't want to. I don't want to see that, but it will happen. Regular gratitude, super chat, love to the family, says Ankit, thank you very much. And ICAM's a member. It's like Carabao Cup first round team he's picked. Let's get behind the team. You know, I really was into that on Saturday. Let's get behind the team. Could your girl call my girlfriend Chloe a Pratt? Love the content, says the big Morph. I quite like the name Chloe, though. I'm loath to call a stranger a Pratt, especially a stranger that's called Chloe. Chloe, I'm with Chloe on this one. I'm with Chloe with this one. She might be a Pratt, but... Mark, keep your chin up. You have our backing, says Jeff. Thank you very much. And they're jealous of you, Mark, and the amazing community you've built. You're an absolute legend, says TJ. I honestly think what's happened with this community now is, and with me as the face of the presenter, is I think these failures in the media use me to get some exposure. I mean, who's Paul Parker apart from an ex-footballer? Who's Danny Murphy apart from an ex-footballer? Who's Andy Goldstein? The only thing good about him is the word gold in it. I mean, I don't... These people have been around for years as well, and they're taking shots. But the thing about these shots is it's from behind a fucking keyboard, which is something they say about me. But you know what? I'll go on his show. I went. Hey, let's tell you the story. Tell you the truth. Then I was at Talk Sport a few weeks ago. I wasn't going to say this, but I'll do it. I was at Talk Sport a few weeks ago, having a meeting about my show and some ideas. And the producer said, "We'll get you on Drive with Benty and Goldstein because you like Benty, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm happy to go on. I'll come on with you, right?" Goldstein shit himself and started crying about it and said, "I don't want him on, I don't want him on. I'll be really moody if you put him on." And they said, "You can go on if you want to." And I said, "Mate, let him cry. Like, I don't want to put him in a bad position because, you know," and that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. He shit himself and didn't want it to happen. So, you know, it would have been the most views he's had on his show in years as well. But look, I can't do anything about it. You know, he's a bloody coward by the sounds of it. Anyway, we've got bigger fish to fry than that. Small bloody goldfish in a paddling pool. We're in the ocean of the Champions League here, and Gems has just gifted a membership there. Thank you very much. Let's get ready to rumble. We've got to get behind the team tonight. Manchester United. Let me get the tweet out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. The biggest and best Manchester United fan community in the world. Built by you. Here we go. United. What an atmosphere. I've seen that before. The fireworks on the back. I love it. I love it. Katy Perry. Baby. I mean, not in that way. I mean, she sings the song Fireworks. I'm loving the atmosphere. I mean, this is a good test for Manchester United as well in relation to the opposition and the type of game that they might present for us. So bring it on. We're ready to go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let me get my timer ready. Score predictions. I stick with 1-0. What are yours? Welcome to the Members Club, Dusty. I came across your channel during lockdown. Great channel, great content. Keep up the good work. Every opinion counts. We don't all think the same. This is Carol. I was just saying before, I'll probably do a bit of Call of Duty. I'll definitely be doing my Man United career mode. We'll be very interactive. Every year in November on the international break on the Saturday, I stream all day and into the early hours. We do some horror games and stuff as well late into the night. We do it every year, raising money for people with terminal illness. We've raised over £100,000 in the last couple of years. So please do. It's a great stream anyway. It's a lot of effort. I can't do it without you. It's a community thing we do every year. I'm just going to keep reminding people about it because the international break comes and people go, oh, what am I going to do? And I'm like, come on, that Saturday every year, we always do something really, really important and really, really big. So please get involved in that. Lost another friend this year, very young, to cancer, and have done in the past. And it's a really important cause. So please get involved with it. So Radcliffe should use all his funds on the Madrid reject Mbappe, says Bjorn. Yeah, I've heard that Mbappe's not going to Real Madrid now, which, where does he go? I mean, he's too young to go to Saudi, so where does he go? Most people think that certain players are selected due to pressure from above. What do you think, says Jew? I don't think that... Would you do some Fortnite, says Adrian? Mate, I'll play Fortnite if we're raising money. I'll do anything for money on that day because it's all about, the charity. Lovely atmosphere. Really looking forward to it. Look, I don't for 1 minute think that Rashford's back in the team because he runs the club. Some people do think that. I think it's crazy. I think he's back in the team because Ten Hag has him as his favourite player. Now, Rashford's playing from the right and Garnacho's playing from the left. That's the first thing to notice tonight. McTominay's playing as the box-to-box and Eriksen's playing as the holding midfielder again. Copenhagen wanted a handball there. It wasn't much of a shout for it, but they asked for it. One a 1v1 in Call of Duty. Sniper no scope, says what, mate? I don't even know what you're talking about here. So McTominay, oh well, it does hit Maguire's hand in Europe. You've got to be very careful of that. Actually, you know what? In Europe, you've got to be bloody careful of that. We might have got away with one there. AK says it's handball. I mean, I think in Europe, we're very lucky there. It's gone. Don't worry about it. It's gone. They're not asking for VAR. I don't know how VAR works in Europe, but it'd have been very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. But we've got away with it because too long's gone. Yeah, it would have been very unlucky. It's not like he's blocking a shot or anything. I mean, it's bloody McTominay who's knocked it onto him. Yeah, look, I think that I can sit here and say the Ten Hag outers, you've got every right to be Ten Hag out. I don't agree with it. I can't understand it. You might get some ammunition tonight. We might not play well. I'm not convinced that we will. I'm really not convinced that we'll play well. If we do, it's a bonus. I think it will be hard work, and I think it will be a grafter. And Arna just playing it out from the back. And Copenhagen feel that they might be favourites here. Delow down the left-hand side. He had a good game. Right, here's the ball to Rashford. This is what we're going to try and do. Transition very quickly to Rashford. Lovely touch. Nice ball into Wan-Bissaka. Did well there, Rashford. I like Rashford on the right-hand side, and I know he doesn't want to play right-hand side. McTominay needs to pass. Goal! Get in! Lovely play! Rasmus! 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 1-0 to Manchester United. That goal's absolutely fantastic. I've got to say, Bruno's ball to Rashford, magnetic touch, ball into Wan-Bissaka, into Scott McTominay, lays it across the goal. It's a tap in there for Rasmus. Nicholas Jackson would have loved this. And it's 1-0 to United. It's a lovely goal. A lovely, lovely goal. Really, really good teamwork. You can't argue with that when you talk about style of play. It's neat. It's tidy. It's a lovely little run that McTominay makes. Lovely ball. Reverse pass by Wan-Bissaka. Lovely cross by McTominay. That goal's good. I don't care what anybody says. Man City scores that goal and everyone goes, liquid football. It's an absolutely brilliant goal. I love it. I love that goal. What a goal. What a team goal. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. No style of play FC. I was going to say, what a team goal. Love it, love it, love it. But I forgot. I should just tweet Rasmus. I don't know where that came from. I know it came from my mouth, but I just think it's very, very good. I love it. What a start for Manchester United, by the way. 1-0. That's my score prediction gone. Shut up shop. Marvin says there's still no style of play. Marvin, come on. Let's be a little bit fair. That was a good team goal. You know what that was, Marvin? It was transition from left back all the way through the pitch. You can't just be negative for negative's sake. I get it, and I respect the fact that people don't like Ten Hag and they want him to go. But that goal started from the goalkeeper, went with Delo, into Bruno, switches the play to Rashford, lovely ball to Wan-Bissaka, lovely ball to McTominay, lovely cross from McTominay, tap in by Rasmus. It's a good team goal. You've got to give it credit. They have smoke machines pumping in fake atmosphere. Have clocked their game like Tesco's pumping in nice smells. Come on, United, beat these fakes, says Nick P. Best player of the season, says Sidwood. Done that one from an Arcade has gifted a membership as well. Thank you very much, pal. What a pass from Wan-Bissaka. I mean, look, he's a game changer, isn't he? But United will play with some confidence now, I tell you. It's a bad ball by Rasmus there. It's a good start for United as well. You don't want to be going behind in a game like this with an atmosphere like this. It'll give the lads some confidence. Look like Ten Hag is playing out from the back tonight and it makes me nervous, says Bick. Technically, I think Copenhagen are all right, though. At Old Trafford, they played quite well. Main thing is to get the 3 points tonight, but a 1-0 head start's good. Here's Garnacho down that left-hand side. Cuts inside. Possession is key. Brutus says, Eric Ten Hag army, ready to party. Højlund top scorer, isn't he? Hasn't scored in the Premier League yet, but I think he's got 4 in the Champions League. Yeah, Morata's got 5, so he's joint second with Evan Elson at Porto, Griezmann at Atletico Madrid and Haaland at Man City. But he's got 4 goals in the Champions League. So much negativity come from the chat tonight. Some fans just enjoy United failing, says James. Well, you won't get that from me. You won't get that from me. Can you call Caleb a prat, says Kirk. And thanks for your super chat there, Kirk. Caleb, you're a prat, apparently. A De Gea United fan first. Thank you very much for your super chat. Dallas says that the Copenhagen manager claims his team could play any team from the Premier League. Well, I do sometimes think you can say... You say it best when you say nothing at all. I like what Fabian says. Keep controlling the game. Dan says you look like Philip Schofield. I think people see a lot of people in me. Apparently I look like Ollie, Rooney, DiCaprio, Pitt, Ed Woodward, Philip Schofield. You know, I think you just see things. Good day, Mark and the Brisbane crew, says James. How you going? I would absolutely love to see you interview Ralph Rangnick. I would love to interview Ralph Rangnick. I think he's probably too much of a classy guy. Elrond from Lord of the Rings, I do get. The new Lord of the Rings. I get that one quite a lot. United doing well for possession here. Into McTominay. Nicely out to Rashford. See what happens, though, when Rashford just keeps it simple. I mean, people won't remember. Well, they will. People won't acknowledge his involvement in that goal, but it's a touch and a pass, and he's out the game. But he's done his... This is the thing we've been saying about Rashford and Antony for bloody ages. Here we go. Oh, what's this all about? Someone's on the pitch. Don't know what it is. It's probably got a flag. Or a banner. I don't know what that's all about. I've got to say, I do like their manager's outfit. I quite like the big black jumper, the grey trousers, and the black coat. I quite like it. I might lose the coat, but I do quite like it. It wasn't a streaker. Got to admit, if Erik Ten Hag has this as his best starting 11, I'm going to be against him very quickly. This team would get battered against top clubs, says Jack. Mark, have you seen the new Napoleon movie trailer? It looks amazing, says Jose. No, I want to watch it. Huge supporter of Eric, but I can't understand Evans over Varane. Also, what a fantastic start, says John. If Rashford keeps it simple, he's so much better within the team, says Harry. I think this is a great point. It's a great point. Rashford, Antony, they overcomplicate things at times. And I think if they keep it simple, we scored a goal. I mean, how many times in that position would Rashford and Antony try and take a player on or something? It was just simple. It's about the teamwork. I don't think you look like Schofield, but could see you aging like Roy Hodgson, says Rory. Where were all these Ten Hag outers last season? Aren't we supposed to back our manager during times like this, says JRD. All right, Mr. Goldbridge, loving the channel. Finally, Rashford on the right and Antony not. Come on, United, says Kevin. Can you call my cheating husband John a Pratt? I know he's watching and just want to remind him of what he is, says Alexi. I love it. I bloody love it. I'm reading that again. Imagine if this was true. John, you're a cheating husband. She knows you're watching and just wants to remind you of what you are. You're a cheat, John. You've been outed as a cheat in front of 38,000 people. Was it worth it, John? John, come back and let us know. Mark, in my opinion, you look like Michael Oliver, says Brennan. And this finally reveals Antony is simply a flop, and that's fine, says Loki. They are actually playing like they actually have a system tonight. Mate, we've played 10 minutes against Copenhagen, and you are declaring Antony as a flop and that United have got a style of play. Come on, chill out. I'll tell you for free, we're in survival mode. We're in survival mode. This team can play as well as it wants to tonight. It will get smacked up by probably 6 or 7 teams in the Premier League. It's not that good a team as an 11. You can't win trophies or titles with this team. It's survival mode, as we saw against Fulham. And that's what we need at the moment. Sometimes you just need to pick players that you can trust and grind out results. And ultimately, as well, he knows he's not going to get Martinez, Casemiro, Luke Shaw back for a while. Mark, would you quit the United stand for MUTV? Josh. Oh, yeah, I'd love to go and work for something that's going to tell me I can't say this, I can't say that. It's like saying, would you quit being an F1 driver to be a taxi driver? No. Alexi, I'm single and ready to mingle. Forget John and come down to London, says Nick P. Hey, it's not that sort of chat. This is the United stand community. It's not bloody... Oh, Johnny Evans, what's going on here? Oh, no. 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 Not another injury. I did a video on this, on That's Football earlier. Well, maybe you should have started Varane. Lovely, lovely team goal. Lovely team goal. Last week I said Antony should play simple. You don't say great. You didn't say great point. Double standard bridge, says Shahin. All right, sorry, man. Don't have a cow. Rashford plus Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right. Rashford plus Shaw on the left. Also, John, you're a cheat, says Dimitri. Poor old John. To be fair to John, he might have cheated because Alexi was boring in numerous areas. I don't know. I'm just giving both sides of the story. Maybe that was the problem. She didn't want both sides. Ten Hag gets to 50 wins. Second fastest in our history tonight. Great achievement. Great manager. Love the show, says Stuart. I thought we'd already got to 50 wins. Johnny Evans here. It's 50-50 when she comes on, whether he comes off or not. Well, we've got the cheat brigade here. Looks muscular. He might be coming back on. I don't know. This is the trouble when you're 35. You're going to pick up knocks, aren't you? He's well, like Munir says, he's old. I think he's coming off. He's walked a long way. I don't think Ten Hag's happy about that. He's had a word with him, but Johnny Evans is like, nah. McTominay's not hiding, moving the ball well so far, says Richie. John, you're a cheat. I hope you get relegated, says Cal. Caleb says you're class at EFC and he loves your videos, says Kirk. Thank you, Caleb. Sorry I couldn't do it today. I just got lumbered with a load of stuff. I had to go and had an appointment. Varane's coming on. I had an appointment, so I had to skip it. But I have no idea why Evans was picked ahead of him in the first place, says Daniel. Hopefully he can come on and show why he's one of the best in the world, says Daniel. And Tito has gifted 20 memberships. What a legend in this break in play here. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. And maybe John's sausage wasn't big enough. Oh, damn, come on. Let's not let's not turn it into that sort of thing. Interesting what the issue could be with Johnny Evans. I don't know whether anyone's a physio or not. He's going straight down the tunnel. He's walking fine, but it looked to me like it might be a thigh problem where you can be in pain but run it out. But Varane comes on. He doesn't look happy, Varane, does he? I know Varane. I've played the game. We're only 10 subscribers off 771,000, by the way, so please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I've watched Varane for years. I've watched him for Madrid. I've watched him for Man United. There is not a player very happy. That's probably a good thing. I'd say he's pissed off. He looks pissed off to me. Mark, can we get you in and Mika and Jamie out of here? Can we get you in and Mika and Jamie out of here at CBS? I like Mika. I think Carragher talks a load of nonsense, but I like Mika, Kate. You can't win. Well, you can win trophies, and with this team only if this was EAFC and we're playing on beginner, says Jack. That's the problem. She doesn't want both sides. I laugh so hard. What a comment, says Kieran. That's what we do here. We have a laugh as well. I like to describe this community as fan entertainment. I don't like the term fan channel. I think it's fan entertainment. Jordan, who's a regular on the channel, says Johnny Evans is older than Joe Biden and we're trying to play him 3 games a week. Of course he's going to get injured. There you go. There you go. We're going to have a lot of minutes added on here. Varane doesn't look too happy, to be honest, says Mohammed. He's not happy at all. Not happy at all. Marius, thank you very much for your super chat. I mean, the weird thing is, with Varane going off, we're actually, I think we're actually stronger now. I don't know what's going on. What's going on here? Why are we having such a long break? Johnny Evans literally went down the tunnel about 5 minutes ago. Hello, I'm John, says Pedro. I completely reject the cheating allegations. We're only best friends, I swear. Was Anana trying to cheer him on? Hope Varane's not that upset. Well, they're all having a little bit of a kickabout. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, emergency in the crowd. Medical emergency. Okay. Well, let's have our thoughts and prayers with the people in the crowd who are having a medical emergency at the moment. Obviously, that's never a good thing. Just while we're waiting, make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Rashford doing things simple helps the whole team going forward. Need to keep it that way, says Bradley. Yeah, it amazes me that Ten Hag hasn't been able to get players to do this sooner. You know, get the ball, simple pass. That goal is Goldbridge ball. It's probably your ball as well. Hi, my name is John, but I swear it's not me, says Monkey. That goal was very much the way Goldbridge ball works, the way you want to play probably as well. It's simple. Delo takes the ball from the keeper, down the left-hand side, into space. When the space runs out, passes it to Bruno. Bruno turns, knows Rashford's unmarked, changes the play. Rashford controls it, waits for Wan-Bissaka to run past him, passes it to him. Wan-Bissaka controls it, waits for McTominay, gives it to McTominay. McTominay takes a touch, crosses it to Rasmus. It's a goal. It's so simple when you play football like that. And for some reason, Manchester United are unable to do that on the regular. Now, I have sympathy with Ten Hag because they are capable of doing it. But somewhere along the line, some of these players sometimes don't do it. They'll go, I'm going to try a different pass. I'm not going to play the simple pass. Or I'm going to hold on to it a little bit long. Or I'm going to cut inside. And that's what it's all about. Anyway, we're back up and running now. There will be quite a few minutes added on at the end of the first half here. The medical emergency is either over or been dealt with. Mark, do you think if McTominay continues decent form, then Ten Hag keeps him? Or do you think it's good he's playing like this for selling in the summer? James, I don't think McTominay is really worth talking about in relation to a sale at the moment. He's doing quite well for us. We don't have loads of option in the midfield. Delo's playing some lovely balls as well. But we are playing Copenhagen. We're not playing Man City. And I think some of the passing so far has been really good, but it's probably because we're playing Copenhagen. We're making Copenhagen look like a Danish side here, with all due respect, which is what we should be doing. Rashford on the right, all I asked for, Ten Hag in, says Kyle. And hi, Mark, can you say happy birthday to Shannon, says Luke. Happy birthday to Shannon. What a car crew you are, Shannon. That's a line from Far and Away. I've never met Shannon, but I like the name Shannon. It's from that film, Far and Away, with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. It's a lovely film. Rashford looking to keep it simple there. I took biology in high school, so I'm the closest thing to a physio. And my professional diagnosis is he hurt his leg trying and failing to play football, says Jack. Being from Northern Ireland, it's good to see Evans playing in the squad, but what must Varane and Lindelof think? Do we have time of return on Shaw and Martinez? Martinez won't be back till after Christmas, Bobby. Luke Shaw, they're staying quiet about at the moment. We don't really know what's happening with Luke Shaw. Copenhagen haven't played very well. Credit to United, the system's worked good, but they've not been able to get. They've not been able to. They can't string two passes together. Good play by Rashford. Waits for Wan-Bissaka. He'll play the simple pass here. To be fair, United are sort of treating it like a training exercise at the moment. It's very, very, very easy for them. We didn't play like this in the home games, says Alan. Well done, Garnacho. Say hi to Ellie. It's his birthday, says Paul Ashton. Happy birthday. Score the second, says Hayder. Yeah, we're in control here. We want to score the second goal. Well done, Maguire. Well, in a funny way, Johnny Evans going off for Varane actually makes us stronger at the back when you're 1-0 up. Miko says the Shannon is a river in Ireland. And so's the Liffey. And I'll drink to that. The Liffey. Right, I'm stretching my back out here. BT said Bruno has run most in the Premier League this season, says Samuel. And I thought this would happen because Ten Hag knows the style, says Ryan. Good cross. Away. Well, whatever we're doing at the moment, we're really stopping Copenhagen from playing. But although they've got a 3v3 here, and he's ruined that. He should have gone forward there. Mate, I can't believe it. We are playing like last season. I just love the coach and this team, says Mohammed. Rashford looks better on the right, says Ash G. Look, we've got 2 really winnable games coming up. I don't think it matters massively what team he picks. Copenhagen tonight, Luton on Saturday. It's a great way to win a couple of games. Mark, why when people talking about Bruno performances, they're not talking about national football? He was amazing this season for Portugal, says VBC. Probably because not a lot of people have been watching it, mate. Well done, Onana there. Quick off his line. Do you know why Mount didn't start, says Derek? Basically because he didn't. Need a positive result. Had a crap day today, Mark, says Ella. Keep that head up of yours, Ella. Mark, what's your Mount Rushmore of football? Ooh, Jay, I like it. That might be enough to make me sit back down. My Mount Rushmore of football. How many heads have I got? Well, I'm only going to do players that have been through my lifetime. Because otherwise I'd be doing, you know, Sir Bobby's and George Best's and Pele and people like that. So I'm not going to do that. From my lifetime, it's a good question. Ronaldo, Messi, Maradona, and I've got to get a United player in. Well, Ronaldo's there, isn't he? Ronaldo, Messi, Maradona, and I mean, I'd consider Gascoigne as a talent, but it just feel like a bit of a joke, wouldn't it? So, Ronaldo, Messi, Maradona. I'm getting the word Zidane. I am getting the word Zidane, to be fair. My United Mount Rushmore would be Keane, Beckham, Ronaldo, and probably Rooney. It's not a bad one, is it? You could have a completely different one, it'd still be good. Do you know why I might have done that one from Derek? Thanks very much. And we've got another bloody break in the play here. This game's going to be going on till 11 o'clock. We've had 25 minutes. But we've probably only played about 10. There's another crowd emergency. What's going on? Or is it something wrong with an Arna? John's in the crowd, apparently. He's getting absolute pelters. Right, we're off again now. Wan-Bissaka is just simply the difference. He's first choice for me every time. What a player he's become, says low-key official. Look, you know, I think Wan-Bissaka got wrote off by a lot of people, and he's just become a very, very, very good player. There's no doubt about it. Lovely take by Højlund there. Why do you think Amrabat can't get a start, says Ross? Why do you think Mount doesn't get a start? There's Bruno. He's got, this should be a goal. This should be a goal. Garnacho. Good save. Højlund! 5-0. I mean, 5 goals for him in the Champions League. It's probably game over here already. Manchester United. Well, it says 27 minutes. Rasmus. He's got his second goal. It's a tap-in from Garnacho's shot. United lead 2-0 here. And I tell you what, it's comfortable. It's very, very comfortable. And as things stand, he is joint top scorer in the Champions League with 5 goals with Alvaro Morata. 2-0 to Manchester United. It's not 5-0. It's 5 goals for Rasmus. I was getting a bit too excited there. Bruno with the interception. This is how you break. This is what Ten Hag's talking about. We win the ball high up the pitch, but we don't we waste the opportunity. And what we've done today is we've won the ball high up the pitch and we've took the opportunities. Rasmus won't score an easier goal in his career. I'd have blasted the shit out of that. I'd have absolutely blasted it. Fair play to him for passing it, but I'd have had a right excitement rush. 2-0. Hi, Mark. Someone from your editing team needs to clip the moments when you say good things about Rashford to beat the PR against you. Your team is lazy, says Vengeance. And how about an hour live call-in for the charity show instead of Agony Aunt? It would be Agony Goldbridge. I might do that, Z. I like the idea of that. And I never thought I would say this, but Ricky is correct. Having right-footed wingers on the right and vice versa makes us play better than inverted ones, says Jack. Well, Ricky's not the first one to invent that, mate. Could be 4, could be 3. Oh, it could have been a hat-trick for Rasmus. He's hit it on his left. It's palmed over the bar. Daniel says, we're doing well, but John is a cheating swine. I tell you what, Copenhagen are shit. I hate to say it, but they're absolutely shit. United are playing well, but they're making loads of mistakes. This could be, I'm getting excited. This could be one of those rarities where United win 4 or 5-0. Hoyland's the GOAT, says Andrew. Maguire! Oh! I thought it was going to, I was going to go and wake Seb up. They're playing absolutely dreadful, Copenhagen. They couldn't pass a spelling. They couldn't pass a parcel here. Couldn't pass wind. We never learn why Garnacho didn't pass the ball. Well, Neg's probably right there. I think Garnacho probably should have passed it. Imagine if he'd shot and missed. But it didn't. It worked out okay. Competition for a spot breeds better players. Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Luke are the best examples, says Sakin. And hi, Mark. Have the game on mute. The Danish comms are bad. Goldbridge comms are real and fun to watch. Sure, win. Rasmus will have a field day tonight, says Lars. John, please come back and take care of our sinful love child. Thanks, says LeBerm. The Copenhagen coach looks like a slimmer version of Richard Arnold, says Shrin. Jack says I was going to put my fingers in my ears as well. What are you thinking about it so far, though? I mean, look, I think we should have been doing this against Copenhagen at Old Trafford, but sometimes we struggle at Old Trafford, don't we? And Copenhagen looked like a decent team at Old Trafford, but here we've done this. I think the thing I would say is we've done the simple things well. And, I've done a bit of coaching in my life. I've coached, under 14s. I've coached men's teams. I'm not talking about side men. It's a bloody charity game. And one of the things I always say is, let's just pass and move. Simple pass and move. Play through the opposition. And we've done it really well tonight. Really well. Like I say, at times it's looked a bit casual. It's almost looked like a training exercise, but it's better than the way we normally play. That little pass and move, play through the lines. I like it. I do. I do. Give me your thoughts. Copenhagen will be very, very, very disappointed so far. Wan-Bissaka got the ball there. No foul. Play on. There's probably a few people quite disappointed, I reckon. Well, Ten Hag outers will be disappointed. I told you he'll be in for a long wait. Beat Fulham. Beat Copenhagen. Beat Luton. You're just going to have to keep criticising winning at the moment. You know what I'm going to watch tonight? Not that. I watched the first half of it and fell asleep last night, and I hadn't seen it in years. Road to Perdition. With Tom Hanks. Daniel Craig's in it as well. Very good. Yeah, he's joint top scorer now. 5 goals in the Champions League from Rasmus. No goal. But this is what I love. You can clip this. You can clip this. I can tell you that for free. This is what I love about football, right? People will have a go at Rasmus for not scoring in the Premier League. The Champions League is superior to the Premier League as a tournament. And he's got 5. So all these people who say, oh, Jackson's got more goals than Rashford, than Rasmus. We ain't got more Champions League goals, has he? Because he's not fucking in it. Happy 19 months, Rasmus, says Craig's. Ten Hag has got Wan-Bissaka cooking, says Lee. Jesse Walton, thanks for your super chat. Ricky FC said, invert the wingers, says Kyle. Nice ball to the back post. I don't think Copenhagen have had a shot yet, have they? Look, exactly, absolutely. Lincoln Design says he just needs more service. Exactly. He didn't have a chance against Fulham. I've watched Rasmus play for United in the Premier League and he's not even had a chance. He's had 2 chances tonight. He's took them. I think we do better against European teams rather than English teams for some reason, don't you, Mark? Says Sharon. I think this is a great point. I actually think this is a very valid point. I think we will beat Galatasaray in Turkey because I think you're right. I think the game is slightly slower in Europe and the quality is more technical. In the Premier League, it's a lot quicker, it's a lot more intense, and you don't get as much time. And I think United are a better team when they've got a little bit of time. We've seen it tonight. They've been able to pick their pass. They've been able to take their time, and it benefits us. Whereas I think in the Premier League, you don't get that time. It's more intense. You know, I'm looking at Delo tonight. He's playing like bloody Roberto Carlos. You know, he's playing little flicks. His passes are perfect. And we know with Delo, that's not always the case. McTominay showing for the ball, taking a touch, playing a pass. That's not always the case as well. Remember in the summer when we laughed at Harry putting pics of extra training sessions? I mean, fair play. Bissaka has changed his team a lot too, says Wayne List. Look, Maguire's no different to what he's always been. He's not a crap centre-back. He's just not better than Varane and Martinez or Lindelof at last season. But what he's done is he's waited. He's got lucky in a way. We've had a few injuries. He's waited for his opportunity and he's taken it. It's a lesson in life that, especially in football, to never give up because you never know what's going to happen. You know, you can be playing in a team as a support striker that's got Harry Kane and think I'm never going to play. Harry Kane breaks his leg and you're the number 1 striker. That, you've got to be ready for that. You've got to believe that's going to happen. It's a mentality thing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made a career out of it. I don't remember Solskjaer ever seriously being a number 1 starting striker. But he was at United for years and he scored a lot of goals. You just got to be ready for when it happens. Do you think Rashford likes playing in this position? This is going to be the problem because I like him in this position. I like the way he's keeping it simple. But is he going to enjoy just passing the ball and not being on the ball and stuff like that? It's a very disciplined role. And I like him in it. Hi, Mark. Rasmus is officially the quickest Man United player to score 5 goals in the Champions League. Pure class. What a talent we've got here, says Daniel. Considering Rooney scored a hat-trick on his debut in the Champions League for Man United, that's no mean feat. Thank you, Daniel, for that update. Great game, but watching Leao play yesterday, the quality between him and Rashford is like a pub player versus world class, says Spencer. We can only beat what's in front of us at the moment, everybody. And I know there's going to be negativity, but we will beat Luton on Saturday. We should win this game now. That's all we can do. There are bigger tests to come after the international break, but it is survival mode. Last week, they were trying to sack our manager. This week, they're not going to be able to do that. We just got to take it as it comes. Shout out to Matthew Starkey. It's his birthday. Don't know what I was going to do there. I wasn't doing the impression of a seal. I was going to do that song. Ow, ow, it's your birthday. But I can't remember the song. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, the United Stand, live every morning at 10 o'clock with the news. Every evening at 8 o'clock. Lots to get involved in. We've got the fan forum. We've got player ratings, second half as well. Copenhagen, so far, not really done a lot. We will get quite a bit of added time on here. I think when we hit 45, we might get another 7 or 8 minutes. United very comfortable at the moment. Good play by Rashford in the defence. Good to see. Here's Bruno. Into Rasmus. Use your pace, Rasmus. Oh, he's unlucky there. Look at the way he got away there. I just love Rasmus. I love Rasmus in this type of a team. He got so fast, so powerful. So strong, so quick. Look at this. This defender's got yards on him and he just leaves him. Leaves him for dead. I mean, the finish isn't great, but he just leaves him. Saw a bridge that weighs trucks today and I couldn't help but think about you. When you're fat at 40, Weybridge. Will you be in UK in December to watch the Chelsea game? Are there any United Stand events I can attend? December the 11th, Manchester, Century Hall, Christmas show, Nicholas Lawyer. Check it out. I think the link's in the video description. Got another delay now. Potential red card check. Are you having a bloody laugh? For what? For what? What are they talking about here? Oh, it's on one of them. What, for missing a shot? What's this all about? Bollocks. Oh, come on, shut up. You're having a bloody laugh. You're having an absolute laugh. Get the stats carousel. Oh, he's going to check it as well. You're having a fucking joke, mate. You're having a joke if that's a red. You're having an absolute joke. This is a disgrace. That is absolutely incredible. You can't send fucking Rashford off. He ain't that guy. Oh, I don't fucking believe this. I know what they're going to do. They're going to go, well, why has he put his foot there? That's the problem, isn't it? His foot's nowhere near the fucking ball. I don't think it's a bloody red. He is. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. How many games has he missed for that? How many games is he going to miss for this? The problem is, it's because of where he puts his foot. The more I look at it, the more I go, why has he put his foot there? It's nothing to do with the ball. You know what? The more I'm watching it, the more I'm going, why did he put his foot there? That's why they've sent him off. It's because he's moved his foot across to use his body. Fucking hell. It's a blatant red, says Ben. Well, I'll do a poll. Is that a red? Bloody hell. I think he's. I agree with Mike. I think he's simply protecting the ball, and that's why he's done. They've just hit the bar here, Copenhagen. I mean, bloody hell! I'm actually just forget the fucking red card for a minute. This is a problem for Manchester United because they're down to 10 men. A game that we were cruising in is suddenly looking very, very, very dubious. He was trying to shield the ball. What about intent, says Daniel. Sorry, but that's a red, says Nick P. What's he doing stretching his leg out that far to shield the ball, says Nick. Stop trying to get me to say something about that title on the video yesterday. This is a very serious situation for Manchester United. Very, very serious. Sam Hunter, thanks for your super chat. Goldbridge, he made the player bleed. Definite red, says Jack. Martin, thanks for your super chat. No intent, but that's sausage. Savage says it's a red, says David. Stupid Rashford, says Alan. He was not looking at the player, so no intent, says I don't think intent matters. And they've scored, for fuck's sake! This is a bloody disaster! It's going all wrong! It's going all wrong! They've scored 2-1. Yeah, this is United all over, isn't it? As soon as something big happens, we've got no mentality to just dig in till half-time. They've scored. Back post header. Everyone talks about Wan-Bissaka, but on the back post, he's weak from crosses. He's bloody good on the ground, but back crosses to the back post are always a weakness. It's his kryptonite. Watch this. Cross to the back post. He's always been weak here. He's lost. Well, he's not. I mean, Varane's not tight enough either. It's not good enough. It's United defending crosses again, and it's just not good enough. It's not good enough. Dracula FC. Halloween was last week, you fuckers. And in this is football, isn't it? It's football. It's bloody football, isn't it? He was not looking at the player, so no intent, says that. VAR is honestly the worst thing to be brought in. They killed the Spurs game, not a red, says Sumi. I think that's my problem again. I'm going to blame VAR because I didn't see anything happen. You know, we're... you know, my question is, if Haaland had scored that goal, would that be cancelled so we go back for the Reds? I mean, for me, we're over-refereeing the game. The referee on the pitch didn't give it, and he would have seen it. And I just think we're over-refereeing the game. We're looking for things. It's always United where they go looking for things, isn't it? They go looking for the offside fucking subjective bollocks. They go looking for the Rasmus Højlund foul in the bloody derby. They go looking for the Rashford thing. This is what gets on my nerves. Anthony says get Rashford out of the club. Bruno! Oh, tell you what, this game now. We've got to win this fucking game. We're cruising at 2-0. That red card's killed us. It's killing us. People saying it's a red have never played football. He's trying to protect the ball and accidentally steps on him. If someone shoots and lands on defender foot, is that a red, says Toyin. Look, for me, we've got 13 minutes added time in the first half. I thought there'd be 7. There's fucking 13. We've got another hour of this game to go, and we're down to 10 men. This is a fucking nightmare for Ten Hag. This is a fucking nightmare. How? If we lose this game, how do you put that on Ten Hag? Explain that one to me. We're down to 10 men away from home. Fuck a duck. Only Bogdan says Rashford sabotaged the game. He wanted a red. Mate, how can he sabotage the game when he's been started in a game some people wouldn't have even started him in? I want to watch it again at half time, but my instant reaction is 54% of you say yes, it's a red card. Get involved in the poll. And 46% of you say no. Ryan says it's just our luck. Nikhil says, how is that a red? You can do that in youth leagues. For me, that is never a red card, because if you think about what Romero did against Chelsea, he goes to win the ball and leaves his leg in there. That's intent, and that's what people are talking about. With Rashford, he's gone to shield the ball, and whilst he's gone to shield the ball, he's standing on someone's leg. It's completely and utterly accidental. Is it reckless? I don't think it's reckless because I don't think he knows he's going to stand on his leg. And I think he's trying to shield the ball. I think when you go, you know, like Casemiro's last season where he wins the ball with his studs up and he catches him. I don't think that's a red card, but it's a tackle. He's not, what I'm trying to say with Rashford is he's not tackling anyone, is he? He's just trying to shield the ball. The reason they've sent him off, though, is because when you watch it in slow motion, you see this leg move away from the ball towards the player. But he's doing it to shield him. He's not doing it to hit him. And I think as soon as you see it in slow-mo, I was like, he's going to send him off because his leg's moving away from the ball and stands on this player's leg. It's one of those things where it's basically just about, you know, referees who've never played the game. They don't realise what he's trying to do. You can't send someone off in slow motion. I'm not having it, says Cameron. But it happens all the bloody time. Poor Rashford was tracking back all game, helping in defence. It's very unlucky, says Shahin. Rashford puts his leg out for balance and Aaron Wan-Bissaka follows his player at the back post. Would have been Rashford's man, says Dan. Yeah, I think you're fair. I think you're right on that. It's going to be very hard for United now, though, because even if we got another goal, Copenhagen are going to fancy themselves to score 3 or 4 tonight. We'll look at it at half-time. Oh, Anana's way off his line here. Does well. VAR constantly interfering is eventually going to make on-field refereeing completely futile. It's getting worse every season. Get rid. I just think it's VAR looking for things in our games again. How many times has that happened to us this season where VAR just goes looking for reasons to screw us over? It's going to be a long night. Look, I don't rate Jamie Carragher, but even he said, no way is that a red card for Rashford. Hate these slow motion replays and still images that make everything look 10 times worse. I mean, apparently, I've just read that UEFA say that Rashford is sent off after catching the player with his arm. That's got to be bollocks. That has to be bollocks. Good block by Maguire. He's given a penalty now. Oh my fucking God. What's going on? We're 2-0 up and it's going to be 2-2 at half time. I don't fucking believe it, man. What's going on? Who's refereeing these games? Stevie fucking Wonder. What's going on? I can't believe it. Mr. Bean. Forget Stevie Wonder. It's Mr. fucking Bean. It's Michael Oliver's cousin. What the fuck's going on? Oh, handball. 2 handballs. Fucking hell. I think it is a penalty. There's 2 handballs there. It's 2 handballs. Watch. I think Varane handball. I think they both handball it. It's 2 handballs. What's Maguire doing with his hands? That's twice. Get your hands down, Harry. I think Varane handballs it as well. We're playing football, not fucking volleyball. I tell you what. We get a lot of luck. And it's all bad. I can't believe it. We're cruising at 2-0. We're cursed, mate. We're going to be fucking playing Thursday night football. This is a fucking joke. I can deal with losing. But bloody hell. The luck we're getting tonight. Ten Hag may as well fucking leave if this is what's going to happen. It's a fucking joke. Right, we need an Arna here. He's going to do it again. I've done it once. He's going to do it again. He's going to save this. We can't go in fucking level at half time with 10 men. This is a travesty, mate. These heads are going to drop like a fucking bowling ball as well. We know about the mentality with Man United. Ah, he's fucking scored it. 2-2. Go and play with some fucking Lego, you cheating bastards. It's not their fault. It's not Legos. I like Lego and I like the Danes as well, but they do make Lego there. Ah, fucking referee. I don't know. I just feel pissed off. I feel pissed off. We're playing really well. We've had a dodgy red card and then an unlucky penalty. And a 2-0 fucking lead where we've played really well disappears. We're jinxed. We're jinxed. I just can't believe we're 2-0 up and it's 2-2. I just can't believe it. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it right now. Here's your agenda, guy. I love Varane. I absolutely love him. I think he should be playing. He ain't interested tonight. He looks pissed off. He doesn't look up for it. I don't know what's going on with Varane and Ten Hag, but I'm telling you now, I like Varane, but I'll call it out when I see it. He don't look interested tonight. He does not look interested tonight. I've seen Varane play for this team. He doesn't look motivated tonight, and I don't know what that's all about. And that's a dangerous game to play, isn't it? And we don't know what the truth is, but he don't look interested. Mark, please get real. It's a red all day long. He doesn't have the ball to protect. Be objective. Well, I'll have a look at it at half-time, African. Stop blaming VAR. Blame the referees who control it, says KFJ. I don't think VAR is going to care, mate. It's a fucking computer. Always a red mark. He lifted up his foot, outstretched it and stamped it down. Congratulations to Rashford for throwing yet another game. Mark, the players are downing tools. Firstly, Rashford, then the centre-back, says Michael. Well, this is what worries me as well. We've seen these players time and time again let their heads hit the floor. And they've got to really put a shift in now. I mean, you saw what Spurs did with 9 men the other night against Chelsea. Surely we can do something with 10 men against fucking Copenhagen. They've got to put a shift in now. You can't send someone off in slow motion and I'm not having it, says Cameron. Jim says it's too early to declare victory, Mark. Hopefully your thoughts of 5-0 doesn't come back to bite us. Jim, that was obviously a super chat from a while ago. Jordan says it feels like we can never get a break and it's just scary because I know what going down does to this team. Yeah, I'm worried now. And I never saw it happening, and this is the thing about football, isn't it? Problem with VAR is it's just adding more humans to correct one human's potential error, which just means more chances for human error. Never a penalty, says Civi. And Rashford's red card was for catching him with his arm, according to UEFA. I mean, I'll have to look at that. I read that. I don't get that. I know this story ends, Mark. These boys are done, says Corp. People saying clear red haven't played football. You can't slow things down like that and judge it. It's not reckless and it's not accidental. It's a yellow, says Cal. I would say the team are even now. Copenhagen look weak while we used to have 11 players. Funny it took a red card for them to show up, says Slow Sports News. It's never a red. He went to protect it. The ball he wasn't even looking at the player. There's no intent at all. The world just hates United, says Stuart. I don't think it's a red. I need to look at it again. I don't think it's a red. And I think that at the end of the day, I'm tired of people getting injured and therefore here is a red card. You can break your fucking leg on a football pitch and it not be a red card. Like, things can happen accidentally. People, you know, you've got 11 fit men running into each other. You can get injured and it not be a fucking foul. Mark, if United can't get a result, it's got to be only time before Ten Hag is out and Darren Fledge in, says Brennan. From Seattle, this is unbelievable to watch. I can't understand how that is a red, says Cody. I love Varane, but let's be honest, when he come on, he looked like he's already made his mind up. Sean, I absolutely agree. And I love Varane, but something's gone on there, hasn't it? And you don't know what Ten Hag said to him as well. You know, you don't know whether Ten Hag's told him he's a fucking waste of space and he wants to sell him. I don't know what's going on, but I don't think he looks very happy. What an absolute joke of a red card. If he played the game, you know damn well he was stepping over to protect the ball. We've been screwed, says Z3. Game over against 12 men. We've got no chance, says Big Steve. And Mark, do you think the law should be rewritten for the studs on leg incidents? If it's an obvious accidental contact, should it be downgraded? To Zachary. I think people get sent off because of how badly they get injured. I don't think they get sent off because of what the actual foul is. I think they get sent off because a player gets hurt and bleeds or cries. I don't think they get sent off for what is actually a foul. I think it's a farce. We're going to look at it at half time, but you know, football is amazing, and that's just the way it is. But I think that, you know, you never know in football, do you? You never know what's going to happen. You know, you think you know what's going to happen, and then you have the rug pulled under your feet. We're 2-0 up. We're cruising. Copenhagen are playing absolutely shit. We look like we're going to win 3-4, 5-0. You know, we're playing simple. We're doing the simple things. Copenhagen look like a team that's not very good. And then what happens then? They go up the other end. We're not really in any trouble. We concede a goal. We concede a red card, and then suddenly the whole game disappears. I mean, what I would say is, from United's point of view, is you go down to 10 men, shut up shop and concentrate. But we're not set up to do that. You look at that United side, if it goes down to 10 men, he needs to make a sub straight away. A lot of managers, when they get a man sent off, I know it was a centre-back, but at the weekend, on Monday, Ange took off Brennan Johnson to get a defender back on. And I personally think as soon as the red card happens, you can't have a midfield of McTominay, Eriksen and Bruno. You've got to go a little bit more defensive, and you've got to do it straight away. We can't play with 10 men with that midfield. We're going to have to defend a lot. So you've got to get Amrabat on for Eriksen or McTominay straight away, and you've got to bed in till half-time. We've given up a 2-0 lead because we didn't react quick enough to the red card. We've tried to play the same way with 10 men, and Copenhagen have been all over us. As soon as it's 2-0 with 10 men, you've got 2 goals to protect. Go fucking defensive. Get a defender on. We should have done that. Get Amrabat on. That's where we've messed up. We've not reacted quick enough, and now that result is completely off the table. You know, I'll be fair. I didn't say it at the time. I didn't see anyone in the chat saying it, and maybe Ten Hag's not thought about it, but that's his job to do that. We should have done that quickly. Look at Spurs with 9 men against Chelsea. They kept it 1-1 for a long time. We've got a 2-0 lead with 10 men. We shouldn't be giving up 2 goals that quickly. And this is the problem with United. And it's always going to be the problem with United and these players. When things go wrong, they go into a fog. They lose their sense of direction. They lose their sense of, you know, purpose. And that's happened. We've just completely and utterly imploded in the space of a few minutes. And now we've got 45 minutes with 10 men. He's got to make a substitution. We can't afford to lose this game. If we draw it, there's a slim chance. If we lose it, we're out. We've got to win this game. Varane doesn't want to be here anymore, and I don't blame him. Question is, who else is going to follow suit? Casemiro, Bruno, Rashford, says Jack. We'll talk about the red card in a moment. We'll just wait and see it again. Mark, my mate, said there's no VAR in the Championship and there's hardly no problems. I think we need it, says Ian. Even Pogba said it once. It feels like the Red Devils are cursed, says Thomas. Refereeing decisions against us are on an absolute disgrace and it changes the whole game plan. No way that is a red. Even Carragher tweeted about it, says Mario. You can't change my mind. I don't think it's a red. The ref didn't count it as a foul at first. Then he gives a red card. He didn't put his foot high and both legs meet there. It's just bad luck, says Nanaz. Rashford costs us the game. He shouldn't even have started. I don't get what Palestri has to do, says Zoltan. If anyone saying that's a red has never played in their life, what's Rashford supposed to do? Defend on 1 foot, says Jacob. How is that all I have to say, says Oliver. Refs need to be mentioned on Pratt of the Week, says David. And Stig says, I feel sorry for saying this, but the 2 players Ten Hag has punished the last week in Rashford and Varane are bottling this for us, and I'm ashamed, says Stig. Liam Adams, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Mark, this feels like a Spurs-type implosion, but I do think we need to accept the bad calls and try to win the games, says Mary. Oh, mate, I'm moaning about it as a fan, as I'm sure you're moaning about it as a fan. Absolutely understandable to moan about it. But ultimately, the players and the manager need to get a grip. And I don't think they're capable of doing that. I will predict right here, right now, we're going to lose this game because certain players in that team are going to drop their heads. Libert says, I've played the game and if someone caught me like Rashford did, I'd want them booked at least. Could break an ankle sticking your studs out like that. Libert, I think sometimes you're going to put your foot down and you're going to stand on someone. I don't think everything has to be a red card just because you get caught by studs. We have been cursed. The downfall started after they started promoting that white T-shirt, says Nal. This ref needs to be fired. He's cost us the game, says Coob. Rashford laughing his head off. Disgrace, says Tom. Texted Beth, I own restaurants in Copenhagen and you'd like to invite your team who are here in Denmark, says Hassan. Lovely stuff. Ten Hag never reacts. He's too stubborn. Look how long it took for him to make subs normally, says Anthony. And I was enjoying Rashford's more restricted role, more like a playmaker and doing the simple things well. Tracking back to, so sad he got sent off, says Nick. We've had at least one decision against us every Champions League game we played in, says Liam. What I want to know is why does the rule books come out now and everyone gets slowed down? Refs have ruined the game, says Al Nazar. And still waiting for this club to have two defensive midfielders playing in the same game. Now is it gone from one CDM to 0 again, says Yakov. I really do think, in hindsight, as soon as it goes down to 10 men, you put Amrabat on and you go defensive till half-time. You do that, you stay sharp. But I think there's a big problem. He hasn't done that. Varane doesn't look interested. We've not dealt with the fact that there's an overload on Wan-Bissaka's side. We've not changed the formation quick enough. We're still playing a 4-3-3 without Rashford. And what we should have done is gone to a 4-4-1 and cover that right-hand side off. That's what we should have done. Officiating stinks in the Premier League and UCL. Ericsson off for Amrabat. Scott provides more energy. Geordie says. Think the red is a grey and rules should be given, says Dale. Do you think we can ever get back to our glory days, says Vegard. I'm waiting for this. Mbappe to Real Madrid, Rashford to PSG. I'm tired of it, says Suaro. I do not agree with anyone's pointing fingers at Rashford. The guy made a mistake. If it was intentional, yes, I agree with that. Pratt of the week, says Slow Sports News. He's saying it's not intentional, by the way. They're just showing the goals from Man United here as we await to see the goal from the red card decision that we should get to see in a moment. There's absolutely no way that's a red card for me. I'm not having it. Absolutely not having it in a million years. I cannot have it. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very, very welcome, as always. Rasmus with his second goal there. We're about to see the red card incident here. And I'm absolutely convinced it is not a red card. Before I see it again, I'm absolutely convinced. And I'll tell you for why. As they show it here, we've still got the poll running. And it's not convincing, is it? Right, let's have a look at this. You know. Well, they're going in on his face. He's looking at the ball. He's looking at the ball. That freeze frame is not... You mean, how can a referee look at that freeze frame? Did he look at the... Did the referee look at the footage or did he look at a freeze frame? If he's looked at a freeze frame, that's disgusting. I can't speak. I can't speak about this because I just do not think it's a red card. I do not think it's a red card. I think he's seen the player come in and then he's gone to shield it off and he's put his foot down. And your foot has to go down. Some might say, why is his foot at an angle? Why does it not go down? But I think when you're stretching to put your foot down, you go at an angle. Like your foot goes like that. He's stretching to you. Basically, if this is his leg, you can't put it straight down because then you're not using them to show, you know, you're not moving your body around. He has to put his foot down like that. What is going on? Do you think we'll appeal the red, says Luke? We will get no joy from an appeal, mate. You don't get those overturned. Curtis Jones shouldn't have got a red card for Liverpool. They appealed it. That will never get overturned. How many games does Rashford miss now? Is it 3? I mean, it's just... It's ridiculous. I mean, what happens after that? I'm just looking at the handball here. I mean, Varane actually handballs it. And then Maguire handballs it. I mean, it is a penalty. It is a penalty. I mean, I can't argue with that. We've just completely imploded. To give Southgate stick for not being a tactical genius, Ten Hag is cut from the same cloth, says Chris. The thing is, it is a red card, but you will have the same tackle next week by another player and it won't be given, says Bradley. I think they are going to get given, Bradley. I think they do get given now. I think if a player gets studs on them, goes down, rolling around, I actually think you do get red cards for those. I don't think it's exclusive to United. I think that happens to Liverpool. I think it happens to Arsenal. I think that's the game we've got now. I think that is why... I was moaning about Newcastle last week. I've been moaning about VAR for ages because I think that's the erosion of football. I think you do get red cards for that now. I think that will happen to everyone. It's probably why Jamie Carragher's saying it's not a red because he knows it's going to happen to Liverpool. That's where the game is now. It's being refereed by slow motion and stills. Basically, I said this a couple of years ago when A Villa player got sent off against John Stones got sent off against Villa. I think a Leeds player got sent off against Man City. And basically, they were genuine attempts to win the ball where they caught the player. And the player goes, ow, ow, ow. And then they look at it on slow-mo and they go red card. You can get sent off now for not even knowing why you've been sent off. You basically cannot get a situation anymore where you get hurt by another player and you don't get a red card. Like, they will give you a red card now. There is no thought process about, was it intentional? Was it reckless? I mean, for me, intent is not important. Intent is not important. Curtis Jones against Spurs did not intend to follow through and land with studs on Basuma, and he got a red card. So intent I can deal with. You don't have to have intent to get a red card. But recklessness, I believe you have to be reckless. Maybe Curtis Jones was reckless. I don't think he was. But there is no way that Marcus Rashford has intent, and there is no way that he is reckless. Going to put your foot down on the floor to shield the ball, you can't be reckless. You're literally planting your foot on grass. He's not reckless because he's not trying to tackle him. If Marcus Rashford sees the player and stamps on his leg, give him a red card. And if you think he has done that, give him a red card. But I don't think he was intent, and I don't think it was reckless, because all he's trying to do is shield the weapon he's trying to use is actually his arse. He's trying to use his arse. He's trying to put his foot down to turn his body and protect the ball. He's trying to use his arse. Not his leg is irrelevant. He's putting his leg down to, make his frame bigger. He's not trying to trend on his leg. And this is what people are trying to say, it's not a red card. He's not using his leg on the player. He's not looking at where the player is and where his leg's going. His leg goes on the ground. He feels the player and it's like, oh shit, didn't mean to do that. There's no recklessness and there's no intent. So it can't be a red. But you've got to play the game and understand the game to understand that. The people who are saying it's a red are going, well, look at it. He's stood at him. He's stood on his leg. You can't give... So in the second half, if Rasmus Højlund's running through and the Copenhagen player's running alongside him and he treads on his ankle by mistake, is it a red card? No. He could break it, but it's not a red. You don't get a red card just because you tread on someone by accident. And that's what that is. I think that's the headline. He treads on someone by accident and gets a red card. And that can happen anywhere. You can't be given a red for that. You can't. I can't believe it, man. Knew this would happen as soon as I saw this crowd. 13 minutes extra time is ridiculous, says Dylan. Do you know why Ten Hag has suddenly turned on Varane? Is it a fitness issue or disciplinary issue? I don't know, Dana. I mean, I think that's an interesting point. Varane does not look happy. Mark, do you think Ten Hag can make crucial decisions? I feel like he couldn't even decide between a packet of sesame seeds if they're on sale and wild cat meat, says Geordie. Jim Brook, welcome to the Members Club. Making a sub would be our second substitution window, and then he'd have just one substitution window in the second half, which is worse than with our injuries. I think he hoped he could push to half-time. I get that, Praz. I get that. You make a good point. Can't believe it, man. Knew this would happen. I've done that one from Dylan. Another game where we're dominated by officiating decisions, says Yakov. This is football, mate. This is football now. Every game is about officiating, isn't it? It's disgraceful. So please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. What do we do in the second half, I suppose, is the big question. You've got to make a substitution. We're only 5 subscribers away from 772,000, by the way, so please click that subscribe button, bottom right-hand corner. We're live every morning at 10 o'clock, every evening at 8 o'clock. Previews, match reactions. We've got player ratings in the second half. We've got the fan forum, of course. Get involved with the Innate Stand. What we haven't looked at in this first half at all, because we've been talking about other stuff, and I apologise for this, we haven't shown you the stats. Our stats carousel is sponsored by OneFootball. You can download it for free, get all your latest breaking football news, transfer news, scan the QR code in the top right-hand corner. They also do individual stats as well. So if you want to have a look at how McTominay's passing is or Højlund's shot success rate is, check that out on the app. It's downloadable for free on Apple, Android and everything else. 50-50 for possession at the moment, which is probably not surprising. I'd like to have seen it before the red card. We've had 5 shots on target. They've had 3. We've had 6. We've had 2 corners to their 1. I mean, this is going to change now. How United approach the second half is going to be really, really interesting. Bayern Munich are 0-0 with Galatasaray as well. That doesn't help us. In relation to the red card, it's split. 52% of you say no, 52% of you say yes, 48% of you say no. So it's far from definitive. And let's not forget there'll be people here who don't like Rashford because they're rival fans. We can paint it any way we like. The truth is these clowns are lazy and not worthy of the shirt. Good night, says Tusha. And world class from Rashford getting the red card in his plan to give the manager the flick, says Michael. And Mark, I'm at the game in the Copenhagen end. No way was that a red card. To be fair, Copenhagen are a good side, but until that decision, they were overawed. We had the game. We had the game. If we don't have the sending off, I know what Ten Hag's going to say. If we don't have the sending off, we win the game. Now Amrabat is warming up. VAR is going to make this a non-contact sport, says Kieran, and the ref is I think Sigma was about to say nonce, which obviously is his opinion. What subs would you make at half-time, says Von, and Rashford red for that, but Havertz isn't a red, says Stevie. Well, it's different. I can't agree with that, Stevie, although I do. Different tournaments. We know in the Champions League it's a different game to the Premier League. Normally, it's better. Either you keep the refs without the VAR or keep the VAR without the refs. Cannot and should not be both. Not a red, and the handballs are accidental, says Sheriff. It's the Curtis Jones red again, not a red for most of us. Then you have Havertz and Udogie, mortal combating moves, and no red. Mad, says Grumpy. And how can Evans start instead of Varane? Well, I don't know what the situation is with Varane, but he ain't happy out there. Big up to all the work you do for the fans. I still miss Ronaldo in the team, says Man. Appreciate that. We're about to get ready to go for the second half here. Let me just get this going. I mean, Maguire looks like he's not happy already. Manu CR7 says, how can Evans start instead of Varane? Big up to all the work. We've done that one. Can you say hello to my dad, Paul? Says Luke. Hello to Paul. The weapon he tried to use was actually his ass. Should be the title of Man United appeal. Slam dunk case, says Ali. And you can't get sent off for using your ass. And Man United have conceded a penalty in every Champions League game this season, says Troy, and not won a single penalty. Also had 2 players sent off in that time, says Troy. Well, look, we're back in survival mode here. And I wouldn't be so worried if this was Man City or Liverpool, because when you're down to 10 men against Copenhagen, you could still... I think Man City would win this game with 10 men. So we shouldn't just lose it. My fear is the mentality of these players just dropping off. We shouldn't be losing this game with 10 men. We should at least be getting out of here with a draw. I mean, we've got to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. It's not a red card. I think it was a penalty. It's not a red card. There's been an injustice. But you know what? We can't change it. We've got 10 men. We should get a result here. It's not excusable to not get a result. I've seen loads of teams with 10 men not get beat. And I've seen occasionally teams with 10 men who have got better players beat the opposition. So we've got to go out there and put a performance in now. You can't just down tools. Sim says it's a red, end of story. No, Sim, you think it's a red. It's not end of story. What would I do? I'll do exactly what he's done. Get Amrabat on for McTominay. I think that could have happened before half-time. But as somebody said, maybe you don't do that because you want to keep the substitution windows open. But then again, that makes no sense because he's only made 1 sub anyway. So, yeah, I think that I would have brought Amrabat on. Bruno will go to the right. And we'll play a 4-2-3, I think. Ryan Powell says that Scholes and Hargreaves both said it was never a red. Well, Scholes will definitely say it's not a red because Scholes, if you saw Scholes' tackles, most of them were a red and he never got a red. So I can understand Scholes, he's saying it. But no, he's right anyway. He's right anyway. Dan says that Amrabat's not very good. He said a worse word than that. Well, you know, my problem is that we looked like we were going to comfortably win, and now it's become a bloody nightmare. What is endangering an opponent if it's not a red? Says Afrikaan. And that's the thing. I can't answer that. You're right. That will be in the rules, endangering an opponent. And that's the problem, is it? Is he endangering an opponent? Well, of course he fucking is, because he's injured him. But that shouldn't be taken so literally. I don't think you should get sent off for doing something accidentally, is my point. With no intent and no intention. You're literally just putting your foot on the floor. But we're going to have to get used to that. I think that is a red card now. That's the game we're playing in. And this is why I can't stand VAR. The referee on the pitch didn't see an issue with it. VAR goes, oh, you might want to look at this. I think at some point you've got to look at it and go, why am I refereeing a game? Why are we refereeing a game twice? We're going to slow the game down. We're going to add loads and loads of minutes. It's just over refereeing of a game. Look, I said it at half time. I don't think that's exclusive to United. I think we're really unlucky, but I actually think that will be a red card for Liverpool or anybody else in the future. I think that's going to be a red card from now on. Gary Neville said it's an orange. Gary Neville is wrong. There is no orange. It's red or yellow, Gary. Stop inventing new colours. Well, I can't, Will said this on the podcast this week about Havertz. It's an orange. Stop sitting on the fucking fence. It's yellow or red. You're not having an orange. You're not having an apple either. It's red or yellow. You're not having a fucking orange. Is it a yellow or is it a red? Stop making up something else. It's not, for me, it's not even a yellow, by the way. Ooh, controversy. I don't think it's even a fucking yellow. I think you either give him a red or you don't. It was horrible what happened. But if you think there's any intent, you give him a red. And if you think it's an accident, you don't give anything. You can't give him a yellow. You can't give him a yellow because that's admitting that there's some recklessness or intent there. It's either a red or nothing, and I'm saying it's nothing. You can't give him a yellow for that. I mean, the lad has got hurt badly, but it's not a foul. If there was a Ballon d'Or for football content, you'd win it every year. You definitely have saved football with your content, says Addy. Thank you very much. It's always nice to get positivity for the community. Bayern apparently are losing. Fuck, it's getting worse. Dorian says, pundits saying no red, but Savage is shouting stone cold red and seems to be the only one. Pratt of the week contender or no English bias. I vote Pratt, says Dorian. I don't think he'd be saying it if his son still played for United. I think he's just free to say what he wants about United now. And he's talking out his arse, basically. He's talking out his arse. Maybe he's doing it for clicks. I don't know. How Robbie Savage can say that's a red when I saw him play the game and he was filthy. I don't know what he's talking about. He must be doing it just to be controversial. He's played the game as well. And this is what I mean about I've played the game. They still come out with stupid decisions. Clear your Thursday night, boys, says Christian. Well, I'm gonna have a look at the league table here because Bayern Munich are not losing, by the way. It's 0-0. It's 0-0 with Galatasaray. Shot from Copenhagen. We need to keep them at distance here. So as things stand in the table at the moment, Manchester United would still be a point behind Galatasaray with 4. Galatasaray would have 5. We really need Bayern Munich to beat Galatasaray, and then we need to get at least a point here. If we get a point here and Galatasaray lose to Bayern, we're both on 4. Which means if we beat them, we go 3 points clear, and then even if they beat Copenhagen, we probably still can go through second, even if Bayern beat us. We've got to get a point here. If we get a point here, or better, we're in a great position. Oh, Delo's just hit the post from a really ridiculous angle. Here's Amrabat. We'll keep an eye on that because it will change. Permutations will change. Right, I'm going to close the poll now. 53% of you said it was a red. 47% said it wasn't. But we had... fucking hell, I have never, ever seen a poll have that many votes before. We had 85,000 votes on a live poll. I think that's a record. You never get that. If we get 10,000, it's good. 85,000 people have voted on that poll. That's incredible. 53% say yes, 47% say no. Well, you know what I take out of that? Even though yeses win, the fact that it's debatable when he stamped on him means that actually it clearly isn't a red, because everybody knows that you can stamp on somebody and it not be a fucking red. 85,000. We'll keep it open. And it will be rival fans invading as well. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please do subscribe. We're only 5 away from 772,000 a while ago. Arsenal are winning fucking 2-0. They're just cruising through their group, of course. It is an incredible community. I mean, 85,000 votes is incredible. But we need to get a result here. We've got more possession than them at the moment. Victim, I mean, look, somebody just said there, you're writing Copenhagen off. If Copenhagen win here, they go to 4 points. And then if they beat Galatasaray, they could go through. I mean, we're talking about whether it's going to be United or Galatasaray in second. Copenhagen have got a really good chance of going through themselves. They've got to play Galatasaray here. They drew in Galatasaray. So they've got to play Galatasaray here. And then they've got, and they could win this match. So, incredible. Victim mentality, hiding mediocrity, pathetic performances, Radu as usual. Big teams win irrelevant of refs. Tech is here to stay, get used to it. It's not 98 anymore. We lost a defender, no reason to fold, says Radu. I'm not happy with Harry tonight. Stupidly walked into that handball, and minutes ago we were keeping possession really well and he just lumped it, says Nick P. I don't think either centre-back has looked particularly good tonight. I mean, let's not forget, Maguire could have given a handball away in the first minute. A lot of you said it could have been a red. It did hit his hand. It was probably more of a red than the fucking red. Probably more of a handball than the other one. Mark, make tomorrow's thumbnail title, red card, what's next for Rashford, just to see the mainstream media jump all over it again. You know what, mate? You make a good point. There will be a lot of people tomorrow in the mainstream who have headlines going, what next for Rashford? They'll do it just to be clever. And they'll get absolutely no kickback at all, because that's, you're right, it'll be bollocks. We didn't lose a defender, says Radu. Look, mate, I completely agree with you. At 2-0 with 10 men, you shouldn't be 2-2 after 10 minutes. You know, there's a lot to talk about in this game, and a lot of it's talking about officials, but talking about the football, we went from 2-0 to 2-2 in the blink of an eye. That shouldn't happen. I agree. But this is what scares me about this team, and I don't think it's to do with the manager, because it happened under Solskjaer and it happened under Mourinho and it happened under Rangnick. There is a weak mentality with some of these players, where a victim mentality, where things go wrong and they like to be the victim. They've got to fucking stand up here. Luke says sack Ten Hag, he's lost the locker room. I think 50-50 is accurate though. I wouldn't give the red. It'll depend who's the home team. I think it will sway in that direction, says Dante. Nah, mate, I think he was getting sent off, whether he was playing in your back garden or at Old Trafford. I think they were going to send him off. I really do. I really do. I think that's a red card from now on. I don't agree with it. I think it's an absolute farce. But I think from now on, that's going to be a red card for us. For everybody. Jamie says Bruno needs the captaincy taken off him. Why? Bruno made the second goal. He scored the goal against Fulham. What are you talking about? What's Bruno got to do with tonight? I think Bruno's played well tonight. He's just going to be playing on the right wing as a defender from now on. He's not going to have a good game now, but in the first half, I thought Bruno played well. In rugby, they take mitigation into account, says Jamie. Yeah, well, you know what? I think rugby, I don't watch a lot of rugby, but every time I do watch it, I'm impressed. Because they audio to the crowd their decision making, and they're completely respected by the players, and they know exactly what they're talking about. Now, I don't know whether all rugby referees have played the game, but they certainly know the game. They know the game, and you listen to them, and they know all the... And rugby's a technical game as well. There's a lot more intricacies to rugby, like the things you can give a penalty away for in rugby, I don't even understand. So, yeah, our officiating in general is abysmal, and they don't understand the game. They don't understand what Rashford's trying to do there, and they don't understand that although he's hurt somebody, there is absolutely no intent or recklessness. It's an accident. People never speak about the lack of Champions League experience of these players. It's like going against the German army in World War II on horses and archers. Ten Hag is working with blunt swords, and I feel sorry for him, says Radu. Historical. Isn't VAR there for a clear and obvious error? The poll being 50-50 with almost 90k votes clearly says that it's not clear and obvious. Exactly, Sakin. Another great point. I feel sorry for Rasmus. Scores twice, gets this run in return, even when we played against Galatasaray, says Louis. I feel sorry for Rashford as well, because I think that, you know, he's had a bad week, you know, with the partying and the press and missing the game against Fulham and the rumours around that, which obviously he was injured. It's a big game for him tonight against the team where he probably thought, you know what, Copenhagen, I'd quite fancy that. And then he's been sent off, which is just another blow. Footy Edit says, what do you think the score will be? I'm hoping we can nick it on the break, but what we have to do is not lose. I don't think Varane, even there, Varane's not closing down, is he? Look at Varane here. Doesn't close him down. Lets him get a shot off. I don't think Varane's anywhere near his best tonight. Mentally, I just don't think he's there. Daz, thank you very much for your super chat. Really appreciate the support. Rafael Varane closes that down normally. I don't know. Look, all I know about Varane is, and I've been saying it for a while, something's going on with Varane. That's all I'm going to say. Something's going on with Varane. And I said it to you 2 weeks ago, and since then, he's never started a bloody game, has he? How is 50-50 tackle a red card? I'm beginning to hate football, says Ray. On the Varane-Ten Hag situation, regardless what has been said between them and what mood Varane is, he's still being paid to do a job. Fraser, I agree. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. Love you, Mark. The patience it must take to listen to some of these press has to be commended. I'm over from Australia to watch Luton at home, says Dylan. Well, I think we'll beat Luton. Wild Trading, thank you very much for becoming a member. And complete opposite to Spurs. Look how deep we are. Terrified, says Rory. It's this. As Rashford would say, it's this. These players don't have the mentality. Grantos, thanks for the super chat, Copenhagen. Keep an eye on Garnacho. Keeps drifting into centre midfield, says Aiden. And they're in again. Good block by Maguire. He was offside. One question. What can Rashford do to avoid that, says Adam. Technically, the only thing Rashford can do there is not put his foot out. Is just not shield the ball. And then if he doesn't shield the ball and we lose the ball and they score, people will say, why didn't he shield the ball? It's a great point. How have football in general got it so wrong with VAR? The FIA is spot on every time with F1 review system. Example, racing incident, no penalty. Football incident, no card. Sort it out. Yeah, they're scared to say no card, aren't they? It's another great point from Andrew. You know, it's almost like when the referee gets called to the monitor, I knew it was a red. Because they're scared to go, no. Sorry to interrupt. You know what? There's a great point here, and it will happen to a club near you. VAR look at that thing and go, that's nasty. You might want to have a look at it, because they don't want to make the decision. So they pass it to the referee, who then has to have a look at it. And in his head, he's going, well, they're saying I need to take a look at it. So I don't want to be the person saying no. So it's a red. So we end up getting red cards because people don't want to make the wrong decision. The VAR officials don't say it's a red. They say you might want to have a look at it. So then the referee goes and has a look at it, but he knows they're telling him to have a look at it for a reason. So then he doesn't want to say no. So they almost send themselves down an alleyway. And I think they make decisions not because they think it's the right one, but because they don't want to be seen to make a wrong one. Your red-tinted glasses would make Elton John look subtle. Red card all day, says Chris. And Biffa says, I'm sorry to interrupt, but would love seeing your reaction to Nigel Owens refereeing rugby would be class. Plenty of compilations online. I think I know who you're talking about, Biffa, and I don't know who he is, but I dabble with rugby. I watch the Six Nations. I enjoy it. And I've watched England lose so many games in rugby where a penalty's given and it's going to cost you the game. And I don't start moaning about it as much as this. I get frustrated, but because I don't know the rules as much as those rugby referees do, I'm like, I can't sit there and go, that's never a fucking penalty. And the players don't either. They just have to get on with it because there's that respect and knowledge for the officials. But in this, it's... Next time you see the replay of red card, don't look at the feet. Look at Rashford's hands as he turns. It looked like his hands goes in other player's face. But that's not why he's been sent off, Mr. T. He's been sent off. He hasn't been sent off for that. Anyway, look, we do need to move on. It's happened. What United need to do here is do what many teams have done and not lose just because you've got 10 men. You know, you don't lose a game just because you've got 10 men. Here's a challenge for you. Tell me games where people have been 10 against 11 and not lost in a big game. Or tell me games... I remember... I'm going to find this one now. It really jumps out to me. It was Chelsea at the Bridge with Mourinho. I think it was Wigan at Stamford Bridge. No, they lost that one. Chelsea win with 10 men. Where is it? I'll find it. Oh, here we go. 2006, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge may have feared the worst when Manicha was dismissed for a lunging tackle after 17 minutes, with Chelsea already trailing to it. This is unbelievable. So Chelsea in 2006 are losing 1-0 and then have a man sent off. They won fucking 4-1. There you go. I rest my case. They're 1-0 down, they get a man sent off, and they won 4-1. You don't have to lose because you're down 10 men. That's my point. Carragher agrees with everything you said about the red card, according to his last tweet, says Cal. And they must know what they're looking for because it says potential red card check. Immediately, the ref knows. How about don't say, just look at, let him have a look, says Jake. And on the United app, it says Varane wants an extension to his contract. He said on the app he won't go. Saudi has touted they want him, says Stuart. And also, I'm going to watch Biff and Chip, says Viking. Yeah, look out for the mum. Seb loves her. Varane would be on the French version of Piers Morgan looking for a Saudi move in the next international week, says Fairway. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. Come on. That's a penalty. It lands, he heads it onto his hand. Varane would be on... hey, Mark, how many players do you think we need to have a full squad to compete for the league and Champions League every year like Man City? Which players would you bring, says Joshua. This is a penalty. This is a penalty to Manchester United. He's got to give it. Ten Hag is one of the best managers I've ever seen. What he did with Utrecht and Ajax was phenomenal, but sadly it's not working out, says Neem Mulkeen. This has to be a penalty. We need it. It's so important. This is about Thursday night football. Rasmus elbowed, player already on a yellow. No VAR, says Steve. He's just elbowed Rasmus in the face. No check, says Jay. He's got penalty to United. Here we go. Here we go. This is exactly what I mean, though. This is going to go in our favour. He's been told to look at it. He's been told to look at it. That means he's got to give it. He won't change his mind. They never do. He'll give this. I mean, in fairness, he can't get his hand out the way, but I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I actually don't think it is a penalty, you know, because Maguire's just basically headed it onto his hand from that far away. And in the Premier League, they wouldn't give it. But just give it. He won't not give it. He won't not give it. He'll definitely give it because he's been told to have a look at it, so he'll give it. Here we go. Get in. Yes. A predictable referee. I knew it. He's a bloody... He's cost us a red card, but the cowardice has come through for us here. It's not a red card. It's not a penalty, by the way. You know, red tinted glasses, that's not even a fucking penalty, and it wasn't a red card. So I'm going to be consistent. This referee is just a bottle job. He gets sent to the he gets sent to the screen, and he won't make his fucking... He won't change his mind. You should make a reaction channel. React Bridge says raw. It is a shocking decision. It's never a penalty. 100% it's not. But it wasn't a red card either. AI system should make decisions and cards. Should get a red card as well. Feels like the refs and lawmakers think they own the game, says the Mark Knight 83. Well, here's Bruno. Get in! Bruno! 3-2. Now we've got something to hold on to. And it's not our... Just get in. Come on. Focus. We need Rashford there now. Focus. Heads together. Heads together. That's it, Delo. Come on. Heads together. John Williams says it suddenly wasn't a penalty when you knew. Verdict, says John. And this is what makes me nervous now. This is Slow Sports News. Feels like the refs and lawmakers think they own the game. It will always be the fans' game. We should be able to vote if we want VAR, says the Mark Knight. With the way this ref is handling this game, I will make sure to get into the box every time and buy a tackle or aim at hands, says Kay. Good point. Good penalty by Bruno as well. Massive penalty for that. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. I love to say it. All the Ten Hag outers who were starting up again. Kiss my ass. Kiss Bruno's ass. Kiss Ten Hag's bald head. It's 3-2. We've got to get out of here with at least a point. That gives us breathing space. If we can get all three, massive. Bayern are leading as well. Everything's going our way at the moment. We need Galatasaray to lose and we need to win. I don't know whether Bayern are leading this. Man, fucking hell, that's how far behind we are in this game. We've still got 20 minutes to go. They've only got like 9 to go in Germany. I don't know whether Bayern have scored actually. Kane has scored. Yeah, this could be a massive night for us. To be fair, Copenhagen have really struggled. They've really struggled to create chances. We've defended quite well. Do you honestly think it's a penalty? No. But I don't think it was a red card either. If Bayern win, even a point here wouldn't be a total disaster. If we win, it'll be an absolutely brilliant result. Thanks everyone for getting involved. I've got a bloody sore throat actually. I can feel it coming. No, I'm not jinxing it. I'm sure Copenhagen will create chances. That's why I'm glad we're 3-2 up. Bit of breathing space. If they'd have gone ahead 3-2, we'd be finished. We'd be playing Thursday night football at best. 3-2. Let's do what we should have done in the first half. Mark, do you think football should introduce sin bins in like they do in rugby? I think football and Howard Webb could learn a lot from rugby on how to use the VAR like rugby used TMO, says Darren. The trouble is, Howard Webb and the PGMOL are absolutely bloody useless because they've got no power. They're directed by UEFA. They can't decide to have a sin bin in the Premier League. They're not allowed. They're governed by UEFA as well. Wan-Bissaka's been man of the match, says Daniel. I wouldn't disagree with that. The group at the moment has us on 6, Galatasaray on 4, and Bayern Munich on 12. I mean, we're all assuming that we're going to lose to Bayern Munich as well. Look, if we can win here and win in Turkey, we're through. Would you make changes to the team, says Edward? Only for freshness now. You only make changes for freshness now. And on the bench, there's not really anything on there that I'd be looking at, really. You don't want to change McTominay and Amrabat because they're the only physical defensive midfielders types we've got. You're not going to take Bruno off. Maybe Højlund for Martial. Maybe Anthony for Garnacho. But I really wouldn't be making any massive changes to the setup defensively. If Eriksen gave away a penalty against Bayern for exactly the same, it must be a penalty here. At least the ref has shown some consistency, says Kodiak. Basically, I like the handball rule in Europe. It's different to the Premier League. In Europe, if it hits your hand, it's basically a penalty. And I don't mind that. And I think we should have that in the Premier League. Because when you look at that penalty there, it really isn't a penalty in the Premier League because Maguire heads the ball onto his hand. It's like the ball's here and he heads it onto his hand. The defender can't do anything about it. Like that is not a handball in the Premier League, but I quite like it being a handball. Whatever happens tonight, we've shown fight and spirit, says Rob. The defender had his hands up there even before it reached Slabhead. Always a penalty, says Punit. Like I say, I like the way they do handballs in Europe. Kane scored a second goal, so Bayern have done us a favour there by beating Galatasaray. If we can hold on here and keep this win, it'll be another grinder. It'll be another survivor, but it'll be a massive win. I hope we pull this off, Mark. Will be great for Ten Hag, says Absol. Technology has ruined the beautiful game I love. My grandfather is turning over in his grave with how soft the sport has become, says Eric. And I've been so out of the loop lately. Victory means we advance, correct? Says Chris. No. There's still 2 more games to go. We've still got a massive game in Turkey. I mean, let's not forget, we lost at home to fucking Galatasaray. I mean, what went wrong there? I played with the Copenhagen winger Rooney at youth level, and I'm telling you now, he is going places, says Adam. Did anyone else notice that Maguire headed it onto his own hand before it hit the opponent's arm? Watch the reverse angle replay, says Duncania. I don't know whether that makes a difference. Delo's had a good game as well. Lewis says Galatasaray will be a tough game away. Well, it will be. But remember Galatasaray at home, they left so much space. We should have beat them. Like, I couldn't believe we didn't beat them. There was so much space at Old Trafford and we just couldn't string 3 passes together. So I'd be confident that we can go to Turkey and win. I think this is the game. I reckon we'll look back on this. This will be the group. If we can win here, it will give us the confidence against in Galatasaray. Still got 15 minutes to go. Wan-Bissaka clears it away. All comes down to this next 15 minutes or so. Can we hold it out? That's edge of the box. Close him down. That's it. Good defending. Good defending. They're in the box, but we've got plenty of bodies back. Wan-Bissaka, brilliant. He's been brilliant tonight. Mark, you should get into ice baths. They're great, says Liam. Two subs coming on. Cross comes in, headed away by McTominay. Still people out there saying that it's that it was done for a what's it? Here we go. Bruno McTominay. Oh, he's played that out behind McTominay, to be fair. Oh, God. I'm going quiet because I'm nervous. Now Man United have to go into games worrying about the opposition team and VAR, says Isaac. Got Rooney United been more creative in the time has been on that Anthony all season. What a talent, says Aiden. Mark, you're happy now, but just wait until you go to Wolves and have Hwang scores a double poker on you to get revenge for the match day 1 robbery. See you at Molyneux, mate, says Z. We need to buy defenders with no arms. The game is getting stupid. Both not penalties pre-VAR, says Rob. Mark, United have to be careful now that the 17-year-old Swedish winger is on. He is Copenhagen's top scorer and he's very good, says Willie. Luckily, we played Bayern on their last game of the group stage, so they might actually rest their players, says DGen. Yeah, well, look, we've got a corner here. We've done all right with 10 men. We've done all right with 10 men, and I'm glad that we have, because 10 men isn't a prison sentence. And it's also not a definite loss. Euro rule of HB gives consistency, don't get in the Premier League system. I like the European way of giving out handballs. Basically, if you touch your hand, it's a penalty. We've seen it before, haven't we? We saw it against Sociedad in last year. Mark, I'll eat my own turd if we don't win, says Jack. Now, Bruno's refusing to take corners here because he's getting stuff thrown at him. He's going to take it now. Keeper grabs hold of it. It's a foul. Yeah, I mean, he's never going to give that. Maguire's put it in the back of the net, but it's always going to be a foul. Keeper had it in his hands. Oh, it's a worry. This, it's a worry. Giga says, Garnacho's been good. Galatasaray have got 1 back. We don't want them to get 2 back. You can't give a corner for that. They've given a bloody corner for that. You haven't got the technology to say the ball's gone out. How can you give a corner for this? This is a fucking joke. If they score from this, this will be fucking typical. You haven't got the tech to say the ball's gone out. Absolute joke. It's just, it's the guessing game, isn't it? Oh, for fuck's sake. That is a joke. That is a bloody joke. I hate VAR. I hate this bloody game. How can that be a corner? How do they even know it's a corner? This fucking game, man. I'm telling you now. Absolutely incredible. I've hardly got a voice left from this bloody game tonight. Absolutely ridiculous. How can they give a corner for that? He's given a corner on a fucking guess. I knew that was going to happen. It's Arsenal Newcastle all over again. All from a corner that he fucking doesn't even know. Fucking hell. And I tell you what, it's another bloody cross into the box, isn't it? Maguire's got to do better on that as well. And Delo. They've got to attack that. You've got to call that out. You've got to call that out. There is no way they can know that that ball's gone out from Onana. I mean, it's bad from Onana to miscontrol it, but there's no way they can tell that that ball's gone out. So they should have given a throw-in, not a corner. I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of this. Every bloody... I've nearly lost my fucking voice as well. I can't believe it. And Arna should save that, to be honest, as Kurush. Well, Maguire should attack that cross and Dalot should be stronger on the back post. It's just... United are Dracula FC. We are allergic to crosses. Like, we've conceded from 2 crosses tonight. And we've conceded a penalty from a cross. And yet, apparently, Varane and Maguire are brilliant in the air. How have I jinxed it? People are saying jinx. I'm not playing centre-back for Man United, and I'm not fucking playing in goal either. What are you talking about? I don't even remember jinxing it, so I can't take an assist on that. If we lose this, I give up. He looks good, that number 40. Is that Rooney? He looks very good. Mario says, I'll take a point. Oh, mate, if we don't get a point, we're playing Thursday night football. We might not even play that. Give me some water. There's time here for them to win. I thought we bought a keeper that comes for crosses, says Leg. The thing that pisses me off about that goal is the referee gives a corner because Onana miscontrols it and it looks like it goes over the line. But there's no tech to say it went over the line, so you can't give a fucking corner. You've guessed at it. I've got a hoarse throat now. Fucking believe it, man. I don't believe it. Three, 6 goals. I mean, normally that would be a 3. That would be a bloody thriller, wouldn't it? I don't normally get United scoring 3 goals, but it's been painful. Oh, bloody hell. They've just had a massive chance. Bloody hell. The fuck is going on? What? How's that even happened? I thought it was a goal kick. How the bloody hell has this just happened? They just had a chance where he put it over the bar and the next thing there's a cross coming in. What the fucking hell's going on? How has that even happened? I don't even understand what's happened there. I'm literally typing something because they've just shot over the bar. The next thing I know, there's a cross coming in the bar. It's another bloody cross. It's another cross. Another cross into the box. 4 fucking goals we've conceded. How did the ball end up there? Oh, for fuck's sake, man. What are the centre-backs doing here? What are Varane and Maguire doing here? 4 goals. Can I just say, in the last 4 games, we've conceded 3 against Newcastle. How many against Man City? 4 tonight. Don't anyone tell Sky for their bloody Harry Maguire stats board because we're shipping goals like fucking Torquay. It's over. It's over, man. I don't even know. I'm like Ricky. I'm Ricky FC here. I've got to go back. I don't understand what happens. That's the goal. Okay, he shoots. Oh, the ball stays in. The ball stays in. It doesn't go out for a goal kick. They win the ball back. We're slow. Look how fucking slow we are to close down. We give him a free cross. That's a joke. You know what? That is an absolute joke. That's why it happened so quick. They have a shot. They have a shot. I thought it went for a goal kick. It stays in. We don't track it down. No one's closing down. Absolute jokers. We're bottom of the group. I mean, look. We're 2-2 at half time with 10 men. We go 3-2 up and we lose in fucking 4-3. You know, I don't even know where to start here. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start tonight. Where's Maguire? Has he gone up front? Yeah. It's the same old story with these players, though. They're just bottle jobs. They're bottle jobs. They down tools and they give up and they're cowards. I mean, we've conceded 3 goals from crosses and yet we're meant to have, you know, centre-backs in Varane and Maguire that are good in the air. Now, I'm not singling out Harry Maguire by any shape or form, but the media were telling us we're better with Maguire in the team. And in the 4 games he's started, we've averaged, what, 3 goals a game? Come on, that's got to be a penalty. We've got to review that. We'll have a penalty for that, surely. Just give us something, man. Fucking hell. Madness. Absolute madness. It's absolutely madness. Player ratings, link in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. That's going to be really interesting. I can't believe this game tonight. I'm very rarely stuck for words, but I can't believe this game tonight. I can't believe it. So much has gone wrong, but then on the other hand, there's lots of things that were in our control. I mean, if you're Rasmus Højlund, you must be sat there going, I can't fucking believe it. I can't believe it. You know, I'm on the verge of a hat-trick, and then I never get another sniff again. Fucking hell. Maguire's just hit the bar. It was an offside anyway. Or a foul, I don't know. It's just not. It's not going to be our night. I mean, that would have been one of the goals of the season if he'd scored that. He's hit the bar. How many did Man City beat us by? Was it? I can't remember. I'm losing track here. Fragile club, a shadow of what once was. Michael says players out before Ten Hag. Ten Hag needs to go now. Why substitution? Only focal point for Mount. Get out, don't come back, says Jay. 9-man Spurs would beat us. We've got no flipping luck and it's Man United versus the world, says Darren. They equalised and Ten Hag decided to sub out Højlund for Mount. What a terrible idea. Yeah, I don't really understand what that was about. Put Martial on Uncle Drew. I didn't even notice that. Man City beat us 3-0. Newcastle beat us 3-0. We got a clean sheet at Fulham and then we've conceded 4 here. One more time we were robbed and the club don't do nothing about this. If this was Real Madrid, never in a million years, says Nagado. And you shouldn't concede 4 after losing a man. No, I agree, Mark. I absolutely agree with that. I don't think going down to 10 men, as much as it was an injustice, is an excuse to go and lose a game. Not when you're 2-0 up. You shouldn't lose a game from 2-0 with 10 men. You shouldn't. And you shouldn't be conceding 4 goals. That's not acceptable. Like I will say that. We'll talk about it in the match reaction where the blame lies. I think if you start saying Ten Hag out, that's really, there will be Ten Hag outers from last week, and I respect that. But if you're saying Ten Hag after that, that's not, it's 80s right. The reason we've lost this game is because of a red card and, the same old players letting the badge down. I mean, you've got Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire, Rafael Varane. They're very good in the air. So why are we struggling with crosses into the box? Now, I'm not individualising those 3 players, but organisational-wise, we should be able to deal with crosses all night. I'd be more worried about them playing through us. But conceding goals from crosses with the height that we've got is ridiculous. Night out in Copenhagen for Rashi's birthday, says Peter. It's not the time. Serious questions need to be asked about the training under Ten Hag. He's in charge of the coaches and training as well. They can't attack nor defend, says Shatish. I mean, look, football's an amazing sport, isn't it? And, you go through an amazing amount of emotions. And that's it. Final whistle. You go through an amazing amount of emotions in football, don't you? At 2-0, we are cruising and we're getting a win we desperately need. The red card changes the complexion of the game. I completely agree. But to lose that game 4-3 from the position we were in, I find absolutely incredible. And you cannot just put it down to having 10 men. Of course, if Rashford doesn't get sent off, we win that game. 100%. 100%. But many teams have been down to 10 men at 0-0 and won. Many teams have not lost with 10 men. We're 2-0 up with 10 men. It's not acceptable to go from 2-0 to 4-3 with 10 men. That's not acceptable. Look, I agree. Varane came on, didn't look interested. I don't think Maguire had a good game. I don't think Dalot had a good game. I thought Wan-Bissaka had a good game. I don't think Amrabat had a good half. I don't think Onana had a good game. I don't think McTominay had a good game. I thought Bruno was okay until the 10 men and then he's out of position again. I thought Højlund had a good game. But I think collectively, the players that we praised on Saturday, they're all right. We're in massive trouble. We're in massive trouble. When you look at that group now, and you look at the tables now, we are only a point behind Galatasaray, but we've basically got to beat Galatasaray and Bayern Munich. And that's a huge ask with no Marcus Rashford, of course. What's the fundamental issue with this club, says me? Lots of fundamental issues. Joseph says, very, very disappointed in Varane. Look, Joseph, I love Varane. Didn't look interested tonight. And we can't afford that. You've got Jadon Sancho sat at home playing EAFC on 350 grand a week. We can't have players not putting the shirt on and not trying. And I love Varane, but we can't have that. I don't care what the issue is. We can't have that. We cannot have that. And, ultimately, McTominay, Dalot, Maguire, Amrabat, they ain't good enough. They're not good enough at this level, but at least they're putting a shift in. You've got to put a shift in. And we didn't see that tonight. We didn't see it at all. Anyway, player ratings, you may as well go over to the match reaction because it's a better link there. Player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. You've got the fan forum after that. I'll see you over on the match reaction in a minute. Lots to discuss. Lots to discuss.